That might be one of the best adverts that we've ever had here on RaceRoom Broadcasts. I feel thank you so much to our sponsors at Track Time, and welcome everyone to the RaceRoom Macau Grand Prix on this 24th of November 2021. Welcome, welcome. We've got 4 races of action coming up for you today around one of the most legendary circuits on the globe. Most certainly one of the most prolific in Asia. My name is James Kirk. I am joined by Robert Wiesenmüller. Rob, it is an evening packed with action. We got single-seaters, we got tin tops, we've got the Macau circuit, which in itself is such a trial to get around. What an evening we have in store.
Hello everyone, and hello James. Yes indeed, Macau Grand Prix on the ranked multiplayer mode, 4 races, reverse grid races as well. And anyone who's ever driven Macau in sim racing knows how difficult this track is. And I think we will see a lot of action today, lots of spectacular races. You can see it on your screen. Formula 3's first 2 races, 24 minutes each, top 10 reverse grid, and a minimum reputation of 75. You need to have a little bit more for the GT3 race, 85 and a rating of 1700 to get into the live broadcasted split, but there are even more splits, 3 splits in total today, where you can race, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this very much.
And so this is very much, I mean, I guess the best way we could say it is open qualifying, right? There's no entry lists, you know, there is no guarantee of big stars necessarily dropping in or not dropping in. This is all about ranked multiplayer. It's a recent addition to RaceRoom racing simulations. It's honestly just such a nice opportunity to measure yourself up as a driver against some of the best in the world on this simulator, right? And so we do have some names that you might very well be recognizing. We have some names that you won't be recognizing, but that's part of the fun of this broadcast. It's a chill evening around such a great circuit with great cars, the F3s and GT3s in this particular situation. And we start today with the F3s. We'll talk about this turn in a little bit. You could see the struggle. I'm sure we'll see that a couple of times later on in the races that we've got coming up. However, Rob, let us start then with the F3s. What have we got lined up here? You said it, 2 races, qualifying, but qualifying in particular is going to be set on private mode, am I correct?
Yes, this is correct. So in the qualifying, drivers won't see each other, they won't have to do an outlap, and they always have a clear track. And I think that's very useful at a circuit like Macau, and something we used also in the WTCR Championship in the past, for example, because it's just so easy to get stuck in a traffic jam if someone misses a corner, and it's hard enough in the race, but in the quali it should be a fair chance for everyone to get a clean lap in, and that's why we chose this format here. Right now in the practice mode they can still see each other, but they are pretty much spread apart. And Marcel Goutai, do I look like I have a team? Well, you are in P1. Maybe you will have one after this event.
Oh, wow. This harkens back to, like, the glory days of grassroots sim racing. And listen, you've got all of your big championships now, the likes of EWTCR, your Remus Championship, Cupra Championship, F1 Esports, whatever. That's a great team name. That's brilliant. I love it. And Marcel Goutai, if he's able to pick up a win in one of these races or a podium, justified. You're going to get lots of broadcast time, I'm sure. We'll also be checking into chat as well, so hello to all of you watching at the moment. We'll be sure to pick up as many questions or points as we possibly can. It is a much more chilled broadcast, of course, kind of like a celebration of RaceRoom this year. We've had so many fantastic championships across the year. We're going to be covering those to a certain amount of depth. You know, we're going to be reminiscing certainly at different points throughout the broadcast, but right now, upcoming, we've got 10 minutes of qualifying with these F3s, and definitely from what we have seen in practice thus far, Rob, the F3 is definitely the more difficult of the machines to get around this tight and twisty circuit.
Yeah, the F3 cars got a physics update this year, which made them very popular. You know, back in the day, they weren't the most popular class, they weren't raced so often, and then Alex Hodgkinson put his hands on the car, you know, changed some files, made them more realistic. And all of a sudden, they are one of the most popular classes on the ranked mode. But on this circuit, there's one trait that really doesn't come in handy, and that's the steering lock. Because you have a maximum steering lock of 15 degrees on this car, and when you come up to the hairpin like Balin Shoboslai is going to do in exactly one corner, then you have a bit of a problem, because you need to be super precise to get around.
all the elegance and grace of a London taxi trying to do an 8-point turn, unfortunately. You can see just how tight it is there through the hands of Balint Szoboszlai, and certainly Szoboszlai, one of these drivers who has been up and coming over the last year or so. He's got a lot of talent, and to see a driver of that caliber struggling to get around a single turn, it is a good time to point out now that is a rarity in the whole world of motorsport, a non-overtaking zone. So yes, it is a corner, but it is going to be single file through there. Otherwise, you will find yourself under the gaze of the steward's eyes.
Yeah, exactly. I can't think of another corner in racing. I'm not sure if there's something, maybe sometimes at the Nordschleife in certain weather or so, but I mean, this is always yellow flag, and it's absolutely correct, because you can't physically pass someone there. Everyone will get stuck. And let's see how this works out in the event. I'm sure we want to see a clean race, but a bit of chaos can be fun as well, and this is what we might get today.
Yeah, even Monaco. I mean, passing around Monaco with modern, like, Formula 1 cars, for example, is almost an impossibility just because of how narrow the track is, how wide the cars are. We've seen with something like Formula E, for example, it's easier to do it, but it's not necessarily easy full stop. But even the tight and twisty nature of Monaco doesn't waylay itself to permanent yellow flags at certain corners, right? So it is certainly a rarity. It is certainly something unique about this Macau Guaya circuit, and hopefully we will see plenty of overtakes today, as that is a flag which I've not seen in a long. Is that the flag of Guernsey?
I think that's Jersey, isn't it?
It might be Jersey.
Now I'm confused.
It is Jersey, yes.
There was
definitely Jersey.
James Montgomery in the Cupra series who had it as well. And so I thought, I have seen this before, haven't I? But is it different? Is it the same? Well, someone in chat must know. We are a little bit confused about that. Oh, and there we see what happens when you turn in too early. John McDonald's stuck here. He has to get into reverse gear.
And even then, he's scraping the wall. That's definitely worrying. It is definitely Jersey, by the way. Guernsey is a slightly different complexion. Lovely to see the British Islands represented here today. And it is a good chance for a lot of folks who wouldn't usually be on broadcast to be on broadcast, to say, hey, this is what I'm all about in a very international field. You might see Montez there, a lovely American. We've also got an Argentinian in and amongst the server. I'm sure we'll become more accustomed and more acquainted with them. And there we are, Mauro Lambruscini. And I should mention as well, to anyone watching this back or anyone who knows these guys, if I get a pronunciation wrong, please do tell me, because a lot of these guys we haven't commentated on before. Marcel Gutai, we've already met earlier in the broadcast. He finished the practice session on P1, and as the 10 minutes of qualifying get underway, he is surely the favourite moving forward.
I actually raced against him a while ago on a Nordschleife race, just a completely random race where he was on the server, and it was fantastic. So it's great to see him here near the front, because that's a very good driver, and perhaps one of the guys from Ballas, from Absolute, from Virtual Drivers has a heart and signs this guy up.
Well, he's gone through Hotel Lisboa and up San Francisco Hill now. Let's continue on with this lap of the Macau Guaya circuit. If you're not entirely sure about, what this circuit is all about and what it brings, you're going through this tight uphill section and then into Maternity, down this brief descent into Teddy Yip. Yes, there are some weird names here, but we'll continue on into the Solitude S's, where you ponder and think, how do I not hit the walls? Well, so far Marcel Gutai is on the edge, and he does hit the wall, and that's going to be his first attempt, done and dusted.
Let's just go to Sue Andras, who's still on a lap and is kinda at the same region here.
Through Payol and down. It's a bigger descent here before uphill into Police. Then a miniature straight. You're not going to get much overtaking here. And then into Moorish. And into the back half of the circuit. A little bit more flowing, a bit more natural, with the exception of Melco. We're through Donna Maria and Donna Maria 2, a much tighter left-hander here. And then it is into the Melco hairpin. Feared by many, survived by some. Huge turn-in you got to make here, and even then Andras is scraping the wall with his tyre, just about gets away with it through the black sands and down into the final couple of corners. Here we've got this longer stretch Not much chance for slipstreaming, to be honest, into Fisherman's, but the chance for an overtake is there, or at least to set something up for this second to last straight as we head into R. Yep, that's literally the corner name, just R, or the last corner if you want to call it by its full name. There it is. It's a wide turn-in. There is the chance for an overtake, but given the long run down into Reservoir and Hotel Mandarin, maybe it's not best justified. Onto the timing sheets, Sir Andres won't go. Apparently his time lap has been just removed for some reason. I guess he must have cut the corner.
I think when he clipped the wall at the exit. We have to slowdowns off in the race, but I think he clipped it so hard that it invalidated his lap for wall riding. Obviously, he didn't gain an advantage in this case, but, you know, life is hard sometimes. And certainly was on this occasion. P1 at the moment.
Yeah.
Lenny Jongenil, as he just gets beaten by Mackenberg. And what a time from Mackenberg. Almost a full second faster.
It is a long circuit, though, and so we are certainly expecting times to be a little bit more segregated than perhaps we would see in other potential series. Marvin Mackenberg, you've been telling me, had a lot of experience this year in the Cupra series. Of course, we've also seen Corentin Pointeau in plenty of series as well. He's taken part in stuff as way back as the EWTCC back in 2017. Of course, we covered Szoboszlai as well. A shout out to Cy Fillingham as well, the Brit who has made plenty of good friends here in and amongst the RaceRoom community, organised plenty of wonderful events. It's great to see him here as well. But Young Neil there as well, it's good to see a new name. And there is Gutai, he's finally got a clean lap in, but still 9/10 off the German.
Yeah, what a wonder lap from Mackenberg. One of the guys who really improved. And of course, there are normally two Mackenbergs, Marvin and Sven. Let's see if we see Sven, his twin brother, in the GT3 race afterwards. Question in the chat, how many cars are on the server? Well, we had 21 at some stage, but now it's 17 for this race. But I think on the circuit, that's still plenty. And Daniel Montes here, it seems like he has damage, because he's going very, very slowly.
That evokes memories of the old 1980s Lotus black and gold livery. That particular one, very nice indeed. Yeah, thankfully there is no 107% rule. Everyone is going to get their chance. And to be fair, actually, I'm glad we don't have a 107% rule here, because, of course, the #1 rule about surviving Macau, Rob, is survive Macau first and foremost. If you find yourself in the wall, you're going to find yourself either further up the order by avoiding it or in a terrible traffic jam. We have seen plenty of legendary, infamous incident over the years as Corentin Pointeau heads up to P2.
Yeah, but how much time he lost in the middle sector? Mackenberg there, maybe he has found something in the setup, because it is an open setup race. Even Szoboszlai is clipping the barrier there on the exit. But he didn't clip it so much, so his lap time still stands. Just shows how difficult it is. This is a guy who drove server 1 on eSport races, and even he is having problems there.
The name of Szoboszlai certainly rising up the ranks of fame, whether it's here in sim racing or whether it's in the footballing world. But you can see just how much time is lost in the second sector. He actually puts up a purple first sector, doesn't he? Which is so impressive, but ultimately his time is barely any faster than his previous. He just remains in P6, and that Sector 2 is going to be the maker or killer of laps. However, Corentin Pointeau, that's a much better Sector 1, 2/10 clear of Mackenberg ahead.
Yeah, and this is why I say it could be the setup, because the first and also the last sector are much more straight line, much more high speed. So maybe he's running a lot more wing than Pointeau and Szoboszlai are running.
I guess it is, in a way, a street circuit version of Spa-Francorchamps, is it not? Because with Spa, you've got, of course, the straight-dominated first and third sectors, but the beauty of the whole compromise setup situation with Spa is that if you do go for more wing, for more of a turn-in sort of setup, then you're going to be gaining so much time in that middle sector, it could put you in good stead for qualifying. And really, that's the question that these drivers are going to have to be throwing themselves. Do you want to give yourself a setup which might have more chance of an overtake in the race? Or do you want to go for the fastest lap around Macau, which, quite frankly, in that second sector, nobody's going to be passing you?
Seems like at the moment the strategy with the setup for the second sector works a little bit better. Gutai has moved up into second place.
How much longer though? Because Pointeau is still putting together a good lap. He was 4.5 tenths down by the second sector. It's all about this third sector, and if he has gone for lower wings, that could put the Frenchman in good stead here. He's going to cross the line now. What does he put up? He puts up a 1:20 or a 2 minute 14.038. That's 4.91 down on Mackenberg, and does allow him at least to retake that second place. A front row start here, especially if you've got lower wings, Rob. That's excellent. And speaking of lower wing, Roman De Meyer surely is doing that. 4 tenths clear of Mackenberg at the end of the first sector.
Yeah, that's definitely a high-speed setup. Team GTR3, that's a name I haven't read in quite a while. One of the big teams in the early stages of RaceRoom Esports.
Let's see, through Police, through Moorish as well, into the Donna Maria section. We'll get a true representation of where De Meyer will sit once we head through Black Sands and into Fisherman's. Looking pretty stable, honestly, the setup. De Meyer's done a good job at keeping it like this. Let's see what the turn-in's like. That's, you know what, that was looking bad on entry, but on exit, pretty good. No! Well, there's your answer as to the lower wings. I mean, that was still 2.2 down. Let's maybe scrub a couple of tenths off there. He was maybe looking at a top 6, but even then, there is still such a gap from current 6th place person Simon Fillingham to Shaboslai that it still perhaps would have been a little bit too far away to challenge the top 4.
And look at the timing, 40 seconds only left on the clock. And you know how it works on RaceRoom. If the timer hits 0, you won't get another lap in. Mackenberg, he already crashed into the wall. Pointeau, Gutai, Soboslai in the pits. What does Lenny Jongenil do? He's just at the start of the track. So that means it's pretty much guaranteed that Marvin Mackenberg, who's just practicing a start here, is going to take the pole position. And there we have it. 14 drivers, set a time 17 on the server. Oh, and Daniel Montes, he set a 4-minute lap time.
We could... Oh, there was a late change there, was there not? Yeah, Fillingham managed to get up into P5.
Wow.
He's managed to usurp balance Soboslai, and so the ballast cars are split. Do I look like I have a team? Well, Gutai's looking good, certainly up in third, but it is all about the virtual drivers by TX3, a front row lockout for that particular outfit, as Mackenberg will lead Pointeau in this first race of 24 minutes to be put on the clock, and we have a reverse grid of 10 for our second race, of course. So that is probably going to be the majority of the field as things stand. I'm hoping that Montes just couldn't put a lap together in qualifying when it counted, and that he's going to be a little bit more consistent in the race. Otherwise, we might have some traffic issues.
Yeah, 24 minutes isn't that long, but of course it could be possible that he gets lapped here. Let's see and find out.
I certainly hope that his blue flag etiquette is up to snuff if that is the case. Looks like a pretty good grid, doesn't it? Also a beautiful scene here as we enter the evening at the Macau Guaya circuit. The red lights are on. 24 minutes of racing to start us off here out of 4 races. The F3s... Oh, that's a long hold. It's a very long hold, but we're finally underway. And will Mackenberg's starting procedure, will his practice help him? Well, the answer is not really, because Corentin Pointeau has already relieved the lead off the German. There's still a long run down through the Hotel Mandarin Oriental and into Hotel Lisboa. Pointeau leading here from Mackenberg. We're almost going 3 wide. That is not recommended, but Simon Filliam's going to keep on in the lead, or not in the lead, sorry, in 6th place ultimately he's fallen to. Corentin Pointeau going to try and hold on here from Mackenberg. Is he going to break late Mackenberg? Yes, he is. The 2 teammates going side by side through Lisboa into St. Francisco Hill. Is Mackenberg going to retake the lead? Yes, he is. As they head up through St. Francisco Hill, it is Mackenberg that leads from Pointeau, and Gutai remains in 3rd.
Looking back from Pointeau now. Looking at Gutai and Jongenil, who also share the same livery. There was someone going right. I think that was Demeyer in the background. So far, so good. 16 cars still running. Some trouble already for Daniel Montes, but he's still going.
How strange. He does look like he's driving with the pit limiter on. Maybe there will be traffic issues later on. Let's see. It looks like Fillingham's been able to find his way back up to P5. And Yong Neil, you can see the sparks flying off the contact with his car on the wall there as we head through police and up to Moorish again. There is potential to overtake there, but you really do need a mistake from the car in front. As we can see this top 5 now really starting to stream away from De Meyer. That low downforce setup not helping. And in fact, it looks like De Meyer has hit the wall hard. He's letting everyone past, it seems. A problem for the team GTR3 driver, Romain De Meyer, falls right back to 14th. And maybe there is a need to pit perhaps as he slows down once again.
Yeah, I think his car's not going straight anymore. Let's just check the onboard with him. The steering still looks kind of straight. Oh, and we have a spinner here. Cercadillo is around on the exit. Oh, no. His car's ghosted already. His
car is ghosted, yeah, and thankfully that was the case because that was poor rejoining etiquette. You really do have to wait for everyone. But here is the 8-point turn I was talking about. Don't bash your rear wing. Don't bash your front wing. And Paul Montez is just parked here looking at the scenes in front of him back to the front. There's still 21.5 minutes of this, by the way. Mackenberg leads from Pointeau. Let's go back to third, shall we? Because Gutai is trying to fend off here from Yong Neil, the Italian. I believe it might be Yong Neil, actually. Maybe some Dutch heritage in there. But Yong Neil going for the overtake. The two Ballas esports drivers exchanging positions as Lenny Yong Neil heads up into third.
Nice clean overtake here. Bit further back also, Soboslai trying to go for a move on Martin Meyer, but it didn't quite work out.
Soboslai, he's going to be disappointed with this, isn't he? Balanced Soboslai down in P7. Really mired down here behind Meyer. And looks like there's another spinner, but that is quite a common spot to spin, actually. Hotel Lisboa breaking a little deep, and the Polish driver Radek Magyowski unfortunately finding himself in grief down in P12. Remember, the top 10 is reversed, so Mr. Fab there will find himself with a Fab pole position if he remains in P10. Mackenberg and Pointeau, though, keeping close, though, Rob. The two drivers clearly don't want to find themselves with fisticuffs. We've already seen some great racing between the two teammates, and I hope that does continue as Soboslai still being held up here behind Meyer.
Let's see if he can make a pass stick on the infield. It's notoriously difficult, but in the Formula 3 cars it's a bit more possible than in the GT3 or in a touring car. And we would expect Soboslai to be a little bit faster than Meyer.
And this is the problem when you get caught up behind slower cars, really. As you can see, the gap between Meyer and Fillingham already up to 6 seconds. It's not to say that Soboslai can't close that gap down, especially with clean air, but he's been struggling with that turn-in.
And Meyer did it much better.
Yeah.
He had such a good line there. Andras with some problems. And Demier is going again. He's getting past Daniel Montes already, who's just letting him back through. Maybe a top 10 is still possible, because who knows what's gonna happen here? Who knows how many cars will still go on the wall in the remaining 19 minutes?
It does take one mistake, and I mean, especially if you do spin at the Melco. You saw how much time Cercadillo lost there as balanced Soboslai. This is as good an opportunity as any to try and get past Meyer, tucked up in the slipstream. Maybe looking for an outside pass around Mandarin. Smart boy. He's tucked back in. He knows that this is really not the one.
Just have to jump to the leaders. I'm sorry to say that, but Pointeau got very close.
Oh,
and Mackenberg goes on straight.
Where's he going? He's gone to the shops, Marvin Mackenberg. He's lost the lead. He's lost second. Has he lost third as well? Yes, he has. And fourth at that, filling him through. Massive mistake from Mackenberg. Soboslai tries to muscle his way through on the inside of Lisboa. Muscles his way through on the inside of St. Francisco Hill. And up the hill he goes, laughing all the way. He's in 6th.
He has to fight for the reverse grid pole position between Fabian and McDonald. And McDonald is backing out of it. He knows he's got time in this race. And Corentin Pointeau has got a nice lead now.
All on his own. Honestly, that mistake from Mackenberg was all the invitation Pointeau needed to just give himself some breathing room, to focus on the track ahead rather than focusing on another car near you. And here you can see the moment where Marvin Mackenberg just he put his foot on the pedal and he just didn't stop, Rob.
And what a mistake when you're leading the race. Mackenberg, I think he has not won a live broadcasted race, at least on RaceRoom. So this could have been his prime opportunity here. But like, this is not going to happen.
Oh, and Ponto!
Oh my words, what's happened to the brakes on these
Oh no!
TX3 cars? And another guy going into the wall. Is that Gutai? Yes, it is. Gutai and Pointeau find themselves in strife. One mistake, Rob, changes the face of this race, and now it's Lenny Young-Nail in the lead.
Oh, and the problem was that Pointeau got stuck on the line that you have to take to get around the corner, and that forced everyone else to take a really awkward line, and so basically everyone else also got stuck. This is Macau for you.
And then we look at Szoboszlai. Remember when that gap was 6 seconds between himself and the top 5? Now it's just 1.5 seconds between himself and Mackenberg. And for every hit of the wall that these guys takes, they are going to be receiving damage. It's why we saw Cercadillo heading pitward. It's why we saw, other drivers struggling when they hit the wall in qualifying. That car does not look like it's going straight. I'm going to be honest. It looks like it's going at a slight angle. Very bizarre to see. But Lenny's not going to mind. He's 1.8 seconds clear of Pointeau, who's going to be kicking himself.
Yeah, and what a throw from virtual drivers. 1-2 lead. And 2 absolutely unforced errors here. And now it's Ballas once again in the lead with Young-Nail.
And Cy Fillingham up into P3, dizzying heights for Cy as he runs that Deutsche Post livery. Always one of my favorites to see that one. Just such a classy yellow and black. Nothing to do with the fact that I'm called James T. Kirk or anything. But, it's just a beautiful livery and beautiful driving from Cy so far. Keeping the ship steady, basically, Rob, and getting rewarded for it. I mean, goodness, he's 3 seconds clear of Gutai now?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. You can see there his team name, rrleagues.com. This is a RaceRoom community, so if you want to join some organized races, Simon is doing exactly that. So shout out to him and to his community. You can always race there, and Simon proves it himself. You learn something there. Consistent driver here. Not on the same pace perhaps as Young-Nail or Pointeau, but just doing a solid job and keeping it clean so far, and this can be really crucial on a track like Macau.
Well, look, if Young-Nail or Pointeau decide that they want to make another date with the wall in the next 15 seconds, as they have. In fact, who is... Oh, no, Daniel Montez. Oh, my words. He's gotten out the way finally. His car's ghosted. Who's come out on top? Oh, poor Cy Fillingham's been caught out slightly. I think he is going to retain third. But look at Szoboszlai. He's now right with the leaders as Lenny Young-Nail there was first in the traffic. It's allowed Pointeau to catch right back up. There's a real opportunity for the Frenchman to retake the lead here.
Unbelievable scenes. And we were expecting it. Montes was looking off the pace there. And he just caught the leaders right at the wrong moment. But at least the race is now close again.
You'd think that Americans would know how to handle curves. They've only got oval tracks over there. They're the home of oval tracks. But poor Montez is now a lap down. And as to be fair, really spiced the race up because now Pointeau has a chance to take on Young-Nail here into the Hotel Lisboa. Good slipstream, but great straight line speed here from the Italian. Lenny Young-Nail not looking too perplexed at all on his mode of action here. No need to defend, no need to worry. He does retain the lead into the infield section.
Pointeau's all over him now, and Pointeau has been slightly faster in the qualifying. I think we lost Mackenberg, by the way. He's going for a pit stop because he's got damage.
As long as he stays within the top 10, Rob, he's going to have a pretty good front row start, potentially. I noticed that one of the drivers who was in and amongst that conversation, Fab, now down to 16th as well. So poor Fabien Fab now down right at the rear of the field. His fellow Frenchman still catching, and Daniel Montez might be going slow, but he's not last, Rob. He's still 14th.
Yeah, I'm sure the stewards will take a look at that. By the way, at the moment he's still going, and Young-Nail here. Bit of a mistake.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's just a tyre and not an axle problem. Sliding around all over the place, Lenny Young-Nail. And Mackenberg appears to have arrived back out of the pits in P12. He is some 35 seconds away from 10th place. That's a tall order for the pole sitter in 12 minutes as Young Nail once again makes another trip to the wall. I imagine it would sound like long nails scraping along like a chalkboard when you are that close where metal meets metal. But there you can see behind Pointeau, Fillingham, Gutai, they're all keeping close brief.
Yeah, and even Soboslai is not so far away. He's gotten past Martin Meyer.
Shout out to others further down in the field. We've of course got Meyer in 6th, the Argentine Lambrosini in 7th, McDonald up to 8th now, great race for him. Mikowski as well, great race for him up to 9th. Tevenon currently rounding out the top 10, which does get reversed for race number 2. The straight line speed on Young Nail here really saving our current race leader, Rob. I mean, Pointeau cannot make an inroads on him. I mean, now finally at the end of the straight when the top speed matters, sure, but it's close, but no cigar.
Yeah, it seems like quite equal with the setup. But there's still over 11 minutes to go, so he will get an opportunity for sure.
Oh! Corentin Pointeau, that's saucy. That is super saucy, up into maternity. What a move from the Frenchman. Just caught Young Nail napping. He was like, nah, it's fine. I'm not going to get overtaken in the midfield section. You just got overtaken in the midfield section, son. Brilliant move.
Stunning move there from Pointeau, back into the lead. See if he can hold it this time. He was already in the lead earlier in the race, of course.
Oh, and is Young Nail starting to struggle here? Because look at Cy Fillingham starting to catch up. As we say that, he just grazes the Armco barrier himself. But a chance for second here for Cy. This would be an outstanding result for the Brit. Every single turn of the Melco hairpin comes through.
Oh, Fillingham!
Oh, no! He spun up! And Gutai is eyeing up that third position, which he lost to Fillingham. What was it, like 10 minutes ago at this point? Oh, he's got a great chance running down into the hotel sections here. It's a little wide as well on entry of the second to last corner, Fisherman's. Fillingham, he's going to be sweating beads, I imagine, here as Gutai lining up the run here. What's your straight line speed like to both of these drivers? We've seen good straight line speed from Young Nail to defend the lead. Didn't save him. And closing through Mandarin. And into the... Yeah, here we are now at Mandarin. It's a long old straight down there, isn't it? But is there going to be a dive here from Gutai? Still looks a little bit too far back for my liking. I don't think he's going to risk it here with 9.5 minutes left. No, he's just going to let Fillingham go around again. There is always another rotation.
Yeah, still has a bit of time. Fillingham into the wall again. I think sooner or later Gutai is going to pounce.
He's looking every which way up St. Francisco Hill. This is where the track tightens just a little bit. Not too much opportunity here. Is that Pointeau? Is that Corentin Pointeau? He's spun again.
Oh no, he got collected.
Szoboszlai as well. Szoboszlai is going to take the position ultimately. Just poor timing on that front. But for the second time in the same race, Corentin Pointeau has thrown away the lead. Oh, Montez, can he figure it out? You got to turn right, mate.
Yeah, I think that
Yep.
we will see from the race. Oh, who's that slowing down? I think it might be Andras.
Oh, it is Andras. Oh. And actually, no, I did see Szoboszlai falling down the order. Szoboszlai must have spun as well because Pointeau's back through. What is happening? By this, I mean, at this stage, let's throw it out there. Fillingham could win.
Definitely possible.
Yeah, this was the moment where Corentin Pointeau just...
I think this was the moment where... I'm not even sure myself which moment it was. This was where he passed, I think.
Yeah, this was when he... So this is his pass, yeah. This is when he passed for the lead. Beautiful move. But then further on the next lap, he spun of his own accord. Maybe he was helped round. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't think he was helped round because Fillingham wasn't really close to him.
Well, either way, it leaves Young Nail in. And look at Fillingham here. He's
And look at Gutai.
And look at Gutai. Both of these guys are basically within 1.5 seconds of the leader. 7.5 minutes left. So that, let's try and get quick maths James out, is what, 3-4 more laps potentially as Fillingham goes ultra defensive. Gutai's all over him. He let him go last lap. He's going to try and sweep around the outside of Lisboa. Contact between the two. A little bit of a elbows out moment there, we'll call it, for Gutai. But racing is fair. And Gutai's up into second.
Tough move from Gutai and up to second. And now Lenny Jongenil is right in his sight already. That's not a big gap. And instead of the 2 orange cars that we had in the beginning, we now have the 2 yellow and blue cars in the front.
Ballas Esports 1-2. Who would have thought? Also, Georg, you're not wrong. That car has seemed crooked for the last, 15 minutes or so.
Montes is in the pit lane, and that means that Cercadillo has gotten him back again. Cercadillo has already been in the pit lane, while Fabian is unfortunately retired from the race.
Looks like Tevignon has lost P10, because we were talking actually about the chances of De Meyer, of course.
We haven't shown Tevignon at all in this race.
Yeah.
And there he is, not too
He
far
can't
away
see
from
Makowski.
Maikowski.
Yeah. But look at De Meyer, we were talking about De Meyer, who was, down in 13th, 14th or something at one point. After spinning early on, we were thinking, what were his chances? He's back into the top 10.
And Lamborghini as well, in a very good position here in P7. But we have to go to the leaders. We have to go to the leaders now, because it is getting quite close.
Those cars do look to be a little slower than perhaps you'd expect, or we do have back markers as well. But do keep an eye out for Cy Fillingham here. All 3 of our top 3 now within a second of each other with 5.5 minutes to go. I don't care that this race has been a little bit all over the place. As commentators, that is absolutely what you want to see. The race win still up for grabs. That has to be lag. It can't be that crooked. I'm sorry, you can't be crabbing that bad. It's got to be lag. As Cy Fillingham may be looking for a chance on Gutai. No, he's just going to let it go once again. There's maybe 1 or 2 laps more after this one. And I think that is when Cy Fillingham's going to strike.
Introducing Steve here, our helicopter pilot.
Steve. It's difficult to get the good shots, though, with all the buildings in the way.
Yeah, he can't really keep up. The cars are too fast. So he's actually showing nothing of... Oh no!
Oh, no way! What a time to turn away from the action. Fillingham takes the lead. I must have been Young Nail with another hit of the wall. It catches Gutai out, and Fillingham, who fell slightly back, leads the Macau Grand Prix.
I'm sorry, Steve, but your contract is not going to be extended.
Absolute scenes from 5th on the grid. Cy Fillingham leads, although he's looking a little bit tepid, that's for sure. I don't think he can quite believe where he's at. Oh my goodness, how many lead changes have we had? Oh, it was looking so good, and then it wasn't looking so good, and Corentin Poitou caught up. And unbelievably, Cy Fillingham, the lead was oh so brief, oh so sweet, but oh so short.
Can he get back going again?
Oh, he's back to where he started, and there's another spin. Gutai leads. Oh my word, folks! We promise you great entertainment value. Our quota has already been fulfilled. We've got 3 more races, by the way, as Poitou's lost it again. Chaboslow's on the podium. We didn't even notice.
I don't know what is happening here, James.
And poor Fillingham spun again. He's down to 6th. Oh. Nightmare. It's absolute nightmare. That's what it is. I mean, you can tell it's Black Friday because people are giving away positions for free at discount price.
This car looks like it's permanently angling to one of the sides, just like Young Niels. But somehow he's still moving. It could be damage, you know? There's been so many hits to the wall, who knows?
Oh, and that's a great point from Matt Fab here. Any relation to Fabian Fab here in the server, who's 5 laps down? He might have retired, actually, to be fair. Mackenberg is only a second away from starting race 2 on pole position as well. And looking at how pacey he is, I tell you what, Rob, that pit stop could have been a genius call. As Maya's got... What's happened to Pointeau again? Oh, and McDonald's fallen down the order somewhat. What's happened to McDonald?
Where is McDonald? I think he's retired. He retired from the race. McDonald is out, so Mackenberg is already on the reverse grid pole.
So Makowski is now quite safely on the front row. Oh my word! This has been an experience, folks. This has been an experience. We've got another race, by the way. 24 minutes, reverse top 10 grid. As Lambruscini's gone past. Cy Fillingham, it's all falling apart.
Nice.
It's all falling apart. He's gone pitting.
Oh, but why is he going pitting now? He's just got one more lap to do. This way he's dropping out of the top 10.
What if he didn't put in enough fuel?
Ooh.
What if he didn't put in enough fuel? That would just be the like sriracha sauce on top of the spicy filled cake. You never want spicy cake. It's the worst thing in the world. You're hoping for sweetness and all you get is spicy. And this has been a spicy race, to be fair. We have not been able to tell for one moment who's actually going to...
And Tevenot's also in the pits. They are both in the pits. And there's Shu.
I have no words. Who's going to get 10th position in the end? It could come down to who crosses the line. I mean, it will come down to who crosses the line first, James. That's how racing works. My brain's been fried. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but what I do know is that Marcel Gutai's got one more lap to survive here. He's 10 seconds clear of Lenny Yongnell. That car does not look healthy.
No.
That looks like a very unhealthy...
But I think it's a little bit of lag involved as well, because there's no way that he can, like, I mean, let's try the onboard.
It's like watching, like, 4 people with cramp trying to win a marathon. As Shaboshla is still third, Maya could still yet get a podium if there's another spin. Oh my word. Pointeau led twice. And oh my word, I thought, okay, Fillingham needs a miracle at the moment. He is currently down in P11. He's 30 seconds down on Tevignon. I don't know how he's 30 seconds down on Tevignon. They both hit the pits at the same time. Mackenberg. These guys are still on the same... They're still on the same lap as the leader. So they're going to have to do another rotation. Here comes Mackenberg on Makowski as Gutai. We've got to go back to him because I believe he is almost at the Melco hairpin. He has almost won this race. Actually, he's not at the Melco hairpin. He's just a maternity. He slows down heavily. I don't blame you, Marcel. I don't blame you. And actually, it's Makowski putting the pressure on Mackenberg here in the final stages, Rob.
Yeah, unbelievable scenes, and James, I'm speechless. You know, I'm not sure what I should say, because every time I try to make a statement, you know, this is gonna happen, that is gonna happen, everything is completely thrown on its head. And there's drivers pitting for fuel. There's Lenny's car going completely slowly and sideways. You know, Gutai got an 8-second lead, but is he really gonna cross the line? I believe it when he's across. I don't believe it before.
And just to keep in mind, by the way, Cy Fillingham not just 20 seconds behind, 1 minute 20 seconds behind. Might have had to do damage as well as fuel, but well, through the hellscape comes Marcel Gutai, who's going to win the first race here at the RaceRoom Macau Grand Prix. How? I don't even think he knows. He's just going to be happy that he's got it, and it is going to be a Ballas Esports 1-2 here. Lenny Yongnell here with P2 was Balin Szoboszlai, who struggled all race for pace, hit the wall a number of times. Didn't seem like he nailed the Melco hairpin once, but he's got a podium. He's got third. And Meyer, from midfield nothingness, Martin Meyer for Scuderia Ella is going to take home P4 ahead of Corentin Puanto, Lambruscini, De Meyer, Mackenberg, the pole sitter, by the way, Makowski.
Look at Puanto's car.
Yeah, that's broken. Oh my word. Is he actually going to get fifth? Yes, he is going to get fifth. It's like he's on an ice skating rink. But at the end of the day, I think Tevignon should get P10 in that reverse grid pole position. Heroes, absolute heroes. Also, yes, Paul, it is James Kirk and Robert Wiesenmüller on commentary. I don't think we've ever had as hard a race to commentate. It was all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, do we see some action at the end?
I was going to say, Mackenberg, hello. Mackenberg, fancy 7th. I mean, De Meyer. Oh, look how fast through the final turn Mackenberg was in comparison. De Meyer is going to get 7th, though. Mackenberg 8th, and Makowski will finish 9th, with Tevignon on reverse grid pole position. So things looking pretty good, I would say, in race 2 for Mr. Mackenberg, Robert Wiesenmüller.
Is Tevignon still... Does he still have to finish?
Yes, I believe so. He was on the lead lap.
Alright, well then we've got a little bit of time left, because he's 84 seconds behind Makowski.
Gives us a bit of breathing room, Rob. we couldn't stop commentating for the wrong reasons. Everyone was spinning. And yeah, can we actually get just like some applause in chat for everyone who actually finished that race? Also, has McDonald been disqualified? That's the only thing I can think of, because he's 15th and he's 2 laps down, but he's behind Danny Montez.
It could be due to the incident limit if he hit the wall too often. But I don't see the info here, so I don't think so. I think he just pressed the retire button and it still counts Montez ahead of him. Montez is going across the line here. Well, he made it to the finish.
He did make it to the finish. He wasn't last. And there you are then, our official results. No surprise, really, to see Corentin Puanto with the fastest lap of the race by some margin, but too many errors, too many mistakes sees him down in 5th. Gutai with the win, Hyungnail on 2nd, and Szoboszlai on 3rd to make it a Ballas Esports 2-3. Do I look like I have a team? Well, perhaps Gutai should. He wins here by 10 seconds.
Congratulations to him. We've got one more race coming up right afterwards.
Another 24-minute race, by the way. And then we have a little bit of a break. Another chance to have a bit of a breather. You know, we're going to throw the ads up. We're going to, have a chance to rest our voices before we head into the GT3 category. You thought the Formula 3 was crazy. Just wait until you can't actually overtake around Melco.
But the good thing in the GT3 is it's a lot easier to get around the corner, because you can put the steering lock to 20 and then you just drive around and that's it. So in that way it's good. Let's see if we can get back into the server. We just not only the drivers had some crashes, but we were kicked out of the server as well.
Lovely.
So just trying our best to load back in for the second race.
Nobody's allowed to start until we get there. We have to see this from start to finish.
Yeah, tell that to the drivers. I mean, they weren't listening to me when I wrote, how to drive around the hairpin and don't, don't do something crazy. Didn't work. Let's see. I mean, it was great fun.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's wonderful. I realize that I've not been on as many RaceRoom broadcasts this particular season. We've had no EWTCR, unfortunately. A lot of other great fellows in the industry getting opportunities on like the ADSA GT3 Championship, the Remus GT3 Championship, of course, as well. The Cooper Sim Racing Cup as well. Lots of great championships going on here at RaceRoom Racing Experience. But it's nice to be on for something fun like this, and we thank all of you guys, almost 100 of you now, watching the Macau Grand Prix as we join just in time. The reverse grid is here. Tevignon on pole position ahead of Makowski. The man to watch, though, in P3, Mackenberg.
Don't think they reversed it. I don't think they reversed it. I think that's Gutai on the pole. That's some controversy there. But perhaps a decision by the race direction because they saw too much chaos. It is understandable after what we saw in the first race. Anyway, the race is on.
We're underway. To be fair, actually, you know what? Doesn't matter. Let's keep going, shall we? The field's spread out. We saw Mackenberg having a terrible start and Youngnell having an excellent start. There is no reverse grid. Boom! How about that? Crazy change of format right before the beginning of race number 2. Gutai, Pointeau's had a good start. Look at him go here. The Frenchman up to P3 already and looking to challenge P2 at that. Gutai, the race 1 winner. Is he going to be nicked around the outside? No. Single file. Oh, well, there goes Mackenberg into the wall. He gets very well acquainted with other podium sitter Balin Shaboshly, and they are down to the back of the field, barring Montez already.
Yeah, so I hear it was a decision by the race direction because they saw too many incidents in the first race and tried to limit the damage here, but I'm not sure if that really did the trick when we already saw the cars from Mackenberg and from Soboslai in the wall.
Changed anything.
I think we lost Lamborghini. What's going on with Montes here?
Did he have a pit lane start?
Seems like it.
Strange. Well, he's gained a place already if Lamborghini is out of the race already. Back up to the lead. Looks like Youngnell is continuing to fend off Gutai. And Cy Fillingham, after leading for what seemed like 30 seconds before throwing it away, has a chance to redeem himself here up against De Meyer in 5th. Oh, into the wall goes Makowski, and here comes Shaboshly and Mackenberg, both slicing their way through the order after their Lisboa misfortunes. Radek Makowski, we could have seen him on the front row of the grid were it not for race direction. Is everyone going to get through here? That's much better. There you go. Like, it's a slight scrape of the wall, but, you know, we don't have a traffic jam.
Might have a traffic jam here, because Pointeau is all over the back of Gutai.
Oh, a move through R? I think so. Got to be brave on the brakes, but he's got it done. Pointeau into 2nd. However, he has left himself wide open, Rob, down the hotel section for Gutai.
Top speed on the car of Gutai there. It's right behind Pointeau. Oh, Pointeau has a bit better top speed, actually. This corner is surprisingly easy in the Formula 3 cars. You can always go too wide there.
Oh, he's not going to launch it. I've noticed, by the way, Paul McDonald has retired once again from this race.
Pointeau's wide.
First time we've seen a TX3 car, but that's a clean overtake. We'll take that all day. Simon Fillingham up to 5th. The redemption drive is on. Yes, Pointeau holding on for 2nd for now. Gutai not able to punish him for that slight mistake into Lisboa. 1.3 seconds to lead for Youngnell as side by side goes Makowski and Andres, and that is a lovely overtake from sorry, not Andres, it should be Makowski and Shaboshly. Lovely overtake around the outside for Shaboshly, who's into 8th, but it seems that Mackenberg has jumped ship. He's left him for dead, and he's up to 7th already, looking to chase down De Meyer and Fillingham now.
Change for P2. Gutai around the outside of Pointeau.
Yes, yeah. I was so caught out by it that it didn't register with my brain. So yeah, Gutai back up into 2nd. I've just noticed, by the way, Rob, apparently the Steam sales have just gone live now with some RaceRoom DLC available.
That's great to hear. So let's check it out then on Steam. Maybe after this race, because you don't want to miss the action here.
Nobody wants to miss this, that is for sure. It is far too entertaining. As back to Cy Fillingham, and you can see there, behind him, De Meyer, behind him, Mackenberg closing, although it seems like Cy Fillingham is much more interested with the car ahead of him. for Meyer. Oh, that's Szoboszlai. Another spin in the background for Balint Szoboszlai. What a weird place to lose it through Fisherman's. I know it's slightly off camber there. You can see it from the upward trajectory, but that is so strange for Szoboszlai. Again, podium sitter in the first race. That car does not look healthy. Looking healthy, though, is Fillingham's chances of moving up the order. He is tucked in nicely behind Martin Meyer here through the Oriental and towards Lisboa. Surely, I mean, he's got so much overspeed, Fillingham, so much more committed through the Oriental. Is it going to be 2 overtakes into Lisboa in 2 laps? Is he going to be brave? It's Simon Fillingham. He is brave, but cutting across the nose is Meyer. Good defense from the German.
Yeah, Meyer got passed by Mackenberg, who is climbing his way back up the field.
Can he win this race? Usually I would say no. Today, anything can happen. I think that Mackenberg has as much chance as Young Nail at the moment.
Young Neil has got a nice gap at the moment, though. Almost 3 seconds ahead of Ponto.
He's been building it up solidly, hasn't he? He's not made any mistakes as of yet. Touching my wooden desk, as Fillingham is now very much aware of the Mackenberg-shaped car in his rearview mirror. Oh, he's looking for every which way pass, isn't he, Fillingham? He's like, please let me pass. There's a faster guy behind me. That's Danny Montez. Oh, no. Oh, we're coming up to Trouble Town, and we've got a free ticket for the front row seat. Lenny Young now. I think Montez has actually left here, it seems.
The race direction there pulled out the black and orange flag to avoid another chaotic situation, just in the right moment there.
Oh, still people struggling through there, but at least it's not Danny Montez. Fair play to Danny Montez. He did try his best, but that was lining up to be another big moment where the lead could change, and unfairly, arguably, because Young Nail is still 2.3 seconds ahead of Ponto.
Yeah, good gap for Young Neil, and yeah, the race direction just confirmed that they had to step in there. There was no other way around. Black and orange flag.
He's been given his chances, but now Mackenberg's got the chance to move up into the top 5. I was going to say, surely not into turn 1. And surely you're just going to bide your time into the Hotel Lisboa. But we've already seen Mackenberg lose it on the brakes into Hotel Lisboa, brake a little bit too deep. He lost the lead of the race that way, actually, in race number 1. Pulls out the slipstream briefly, back into it for Simon Fillingham, but Fillingham's got the slipstream and Meyer ahead. We would call this a DRS train in Formula 1. No DRS here, of course, as Mackenberg brakes late, but he's not going to scare Fillingham off the road. He remains in P5.
Smart driving from Fillingham there. He gave him the room, but he did it in a way that he was sure that he can keep the position. Pretty good defense from the Englishman.
Ooh, he sees an opportunity, and that's a little bit naughty from Meyer, perhaps, or maybe just a little bit naive from Fillingham, perhaps somewhere in between, as that was a huge tank slapper from Simon Fillingham as Mackenberg launches his way up the inside there. He's going to be punished again. You're going to have to get the respect of both drivers on side to be able to go side by side through the midfield section. Thankfully for all 3 drivers, they come out unscathed, but people getting a little bit antsy as they look to move their way up the order. 10 minutes gone.
And I read in the chat there's already the first people asking for the Discord contact of Marcel Gutai. So perhaps he's not looking for a team anymore after this event.
Maybe not. Driving solidly, but not exactly with the same pace that we saw in race number 1. He is comfortably behind Corentin Pointeau, who actually should be worth mentioning, has closed that gap down to Lenny Young Nail to just under 2 seconds with 15 minutes left. Still plenty of time as Simon Fillingham almost pushing Martin Meyer through the Melco hairpin. I think the pace differential is clear for everyone to see, but Simon Fillingham's got to get the move done before Mackenberg catches wind. Look at him, he's all over the place. Much better through Fisherman's.
Good run here. You can pass in this corner. We've seen Fiducci pass here in the Cupra Sim Racing Series.
Yeah, Fillingham's just biding his chance. He knows that with the slipstream, he should be able to stay ahead of Mackenberg, but Mackenberg has got a really good run through R as well. He's using that slipstream so smartly. Simon Fillingham going to be able to stay ahead of Mackenberg for now, but This could get really dicey heading towards Oriental and in particular towards Lisboa. I foresee potentially a 3-wide situation. So far, everybody staying very well behaved. As Simon Fillingham surely is going to overtake Martin Meyer here. He's already pulled up alongside, but he doesn't have the straight line speed. There is Mackenberg. He's going to try and Hakkinen it into Lisboa, and he has Hakkinen it. Except no contact between himself and Meyer. Oh, Fillingham is going to be laughing all the way home. He's got P4.
Crazy stuff once again, and Fillingham just absolutely... Oi, Mackenberg almost spun there once again, and Fillingham just waited for the right moment there. And then just benefited from it, from Mackenberg overshooting the corner, and he's back in P4.
Oh, and he spun! I think Mackenberg spun! Yes,
And
he
he's
has!
out.
He's done. That is a rage quit, if ever we have seen one. He outbroke himself, he clipped Meyer. There wasn't much that Meyer could do, to be honest. He was turning into the corner on the racing line. Maybe could have given a bit more space, but Mackenberg was already heading barrier bound. And that is a huge contender for the race to win. Out.
Yeah, looking good for Young and Nail at the moment, but Ponto's a bit faster than him. Oh, and Ponto's catching up a... Full sliding around the hairpin there from Ponto.
You know what? It's my job to be an unbiased commentator. Usually, I mean, goodness, I commentate more in the Rocket League scene nowadays, and we do have like team streams where we go and support teams in their particular endeavors. I'm Team Fillingham today. I don't care. I'm Team Fillingham. I want him to get a podium so badly. He's got 12.5 minutes left to try and do it. Oh, British bias, by the way. He's got 7 seconds to make up on Gutai, though, and actually that's fair to be said. It's been a lot less hectic at the front. We've seen a lot less in the way of mistakes, hitting the wall, just random spins. I mean, that was Pointeau's biggest Achilles heel, was the fact that he just didn't seem to have control of the car. We have seen him have a couple of sliding moments through Melco, Rob, but nothing too egregious so far.
Seems like in this race the most battles are actually in the middle of the top 10, with Martin Meyer running once again in a very strong position ahead of Soboschlei and Demier here. Look at the car from Soboschlei. Is it really moving like this? It could be because he made a lot of contact with the wall already, but it looks really strange. Looks like it's not physically possible.
Yeah, and Meyer just running a very nice race indeed. I mean, he's not pulling up any trees, but at the same time, Rob, he's not going head first into the trees, and I think that is the most important takeaway here.
Yeah, and I don't think we've ever seen that illustrated as drastically as today.
Yeah. Well, it is worth reminding everyone that this is simply a ranked race, of course. You know, you need a certain reputation to be able to take part. These are by no means, of course, you can see the speed differential here for Balance to Soboschlei through that section. You can see the difference between the drivers that have taken part in the pro esports competitions like Soboschlei and your run-of-the-mill folks who just enjoy racing like Meyer. But would you believe it? There you go. As soon as I said, wow, it's been a lot cleaner at the front, I just knew something was going to happen. It was almost as if I was deliberately trying to commentator's curse. Ponto leads.
But James, today, I don't think you really have to do the commentator's curse.
Well, he leads by 3.5 seconds now, Ponto. The question is, will he throw the lead away for the 3rd time in 2 races? He's got 10 minutes to survive, and I use that word operatively. He has to survive. If he does, if he just keeps it on the grey stuff, he's going to win the race, Rob.
Yeah, but we said there's plenty of time. Back with Steve here, our helicopter pilot, enjoying his last paid minutes on the job. And Soboschlei, despite all the damage, he's still looking quicker than Meyer at the moment.
And many a retirement from this race, the likes of Bukowski,
look at the steering wheel.
Yeah, he is seriously crabbing. I'd argue that's dangerous personally, but I don't know about you.
But he somehow still keeps to go keeps going at a reasonable pace here. Now
Is he
Demier
gonna
might
be
pass him.
overtaken? Yeah. Is he just going to spin on corner entry because he's defending? Ah, you know what? Demier, safety the better part of valor. I do not blame him one bit. I mean, surely he's seeing just a mess in front of him right now.
P8 we have got Sarkadillo, who's got a horrible first race. Running a bit better in this one, but I think his car is also not going straight at all, is it?
Is there any car out there that is going straight?
Tevenot in P9.
Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty in a straight line. So does
And
Migalski
Maikowski
here.
as well. I think for sure the race is already over. Back to the front, because we still got battles here. Soboslai on the infield, despite the damage, he is faster than Meyer.
It's extraordinary.
It's difficult to overtake here, of course.
It's extraordinary how much more pace he's got with a seriously damaged car. I guess, honestly, when it comes down to it, it's probably on throttle pickup, right? Where you're able to get much more speed out of the corners.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how it works. How much it affects it. He definitely has to hold the steering in a very strange way. Still gets a better line there than Meyer in the hairpin. Kinda have to use the bus stop, they say, so there's like a bus stop marking on the road. If you run over that, then you should be fine for the corner. Oh, Ponto also picked up some damage. This is not over yet.
Where's the next mistake gonna come? It's not where's the next overtake gonna come, it's where's the next mistake gonna come. This is Macau Grand Prix through and through. Say what you will. This is Macau Grand Prix. This is just chaos and people surviving and showing grit and determination to make it through despite the problems.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of pretty big accidents here in real life as well. The most famous one, I would say, the one from Sophia Flörsch.
Yeah.
Where she flew into the wall at the end of this straight, where Demier has just gone past Soboslai. And with the extra top speed here with his car looks fairly okay, I would say. Soboslai really looks like the worst one out there in terms of the angle that it's going.
Just pit. Just pit. Just save yourself the damage. Enjoy the final 6 minutes or so.
And
wow,
I gotta say, I know what's gonna happen if I say it right, but I got to say, this race has been a lot less frantic than the first one. Sure, we have had Jongenil in the wall, we have had Mackenberg retiring, we had the black flag situation for Montes, but still, there are fairly big gaps at the front. 3.4 seconds the gap between Ponto and Jongenil, and another 5 seconds to Gutai. And 8 seconds to Fillingham, and then the closest battle is around Meyer. But he's doing a good job defending.
Yes, he is. Again, he's doing...
Oh, no.
Oh, my
Oh,
word.
no.
And the...
I can't believe it.
Oh, my. You have to laugh. You have to laugh. The one moment of calm, you're giving them praise. They rightly deserve it. And then 2 people losing at the same time. It's...
I don't even want to look at this happen anymore. It's cursed, James. It is truly cursed.
Oh my word. That was... I don't think I have seen a more perfectly timed comment in my life, Rob. That was absolutely spot on. Oh my word. So Lenny Youngnail back in the lead of the race. A spin for a spin, an eye for an eye. Ponto back into second. He did throw away the lead for the 3rd time today.
How are you gonna recover from that, like mentally? You've won this race. You've won more races here than we host today, basically. And then there's always these mistakes. But he still has a chance to win. It just needs one mistake from Jongenil. We've seen how slowly he was going on the final lap of the first race. Just needs one mistake and Ponto can still win.
I'm team Fillingham still. I want Sai to get a podium. At this point, it very much does need one of the front 3 to spin. But that seems like more of a probability than a possibility at this point. Spin to win.
Oh, if only it would be like that.
Here's the thing as well. Mackenberg retired. I noticed he came into the chat and was like, you know, he's complaining about his race. It was a rage quit, but had you stayed on the server...
Oh my goodness!
Oh my word!
That was a wild attempt from Soboslai. Yeah, go ahead.
Probably still would have been 5th, right? As Szoboszlai and Meyer, I'm surprised these two haven't spun each other at this point. They've been so close to contact. Meyer's he is the proverbial man with his headphones on, whistling away whilst the world falls apart around him.
Yeah, he's just driving around. I don't want to say anything. You know, I'm not gonna make any comment, James.
Let's just not commentate for the last 4 minutes. You know, let's just let them do their own thing. They're having a good time.
So I hope you're enjoying the race too in the chat. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoy, and make sure to join the ranked multiplayer mode as well. We run plenty of other tracks as well, like you know, tracks like Hockenheim, Spa, Nürburgring. It's a bit easier and a bit more accessible. Rookie servers available as well, so make sure to join the fun, and it's really all about the fun here. And perhaps one day you can join a live broadcasted race as well. We always have the race at Spa, at the Nordschleife every year on the broadcast. And of course Macau. We'll think about that one for the next year. But, I mean, it certainly gave us a lot of entertainment. And maybe it gives Lenny Jongenil his first victory.
We've got 2 GT3 races coming up after this, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go anywhere. Or if you are going to go anywhere, just quickly grab your snacks and come back for the fun, because... we ain't stopping here. I'm having a great time. This is wonderful. We do have, what's that? So that's going to be this lap and next lap. So I think we are on the penultimate lap of this second F3 race. Jongenil with 5 seconds of lead to play with. Again, just keep it out the barriers. It can't be that difficult, can it?
You said it, James. It's over.
I believe, Lenny. I believe. You got this, Lenny. I trust in you. Everything is going to be... I mean, you know, like the "this is fine" meme?
Yeah,
this is
with
fine.
the dog in the fire, right?
Yep. Further behind, there might be some tasty shenanigans between Pointeau and Gutai. Only a second covering those two for second and third.
Yeah, how has Gutai caught up so much? He was 5 seconds back.
I get the impression that whatever Pointeau did to his setup, it's either not good on tires, Rob, or it's super loose at the back.
Yeah, but Gutai is much faster than Jongenil as well. He's by far the fastest car around the whole circuit at the moment. Oh.
I mean, again, you literally said it.
That's like a technique, you know. He tried to bounce off the wall and back, but it didn't help the angle that his car is going, that's for sure.
That's a broken car with lag, definitely. Well,
one more lap to go.
One more lap, folks. One more lap until the end of the F3 segment of this broadcast. A reminder that we have GT3s coming away after this, a full 10-minute qualifying session, a 20-minute race, and then a 40-minute barnstormer of a feature race to end off this evening of entertainment. Apparently this track is very fun in VR. It sounds it, but to be fair, in this race, I'd be more scared than thrilled. I mean, it has been a bit of a thriller, but more in the movie sense. And that's someone else, that's Gutai in the wall.
Yeah, and that was clear that it was going to happen because he had so much suspension damage picked up from just hitting the outside barrier, and the melt to happen. Fillingham could get his podium there, 5 seconds back.
Soon, I believe.
Let's get the gap on the screen.
We're basically, what we're looking for, folks, is any spin from the top 3. Most likely Gutai or Pointeau for a Fillingham podium. To be fair, actually, Fillingham a lot more calm this race. He didn't fall down the order. It's been a lot more consistent. Been lovely to see. That gap still is coming down, by the way. It was 5 seconds on the home straight there, and now down to 4 seconds. 3, just sipping under 4 seconds. It's going to be close at the end.
Just answering a question from the chat, do you need minimum rating and reputation for the GT3 race? Well, there are 3 servers, bronze, silver and gold. And for the bronze server you need a certain rating, but you need 75 reputation. So that's the lowest you need to join any server. that is hosted tonight. And for the gold server that is broadcasted, that should be in the practice mode right now, you need 85 reputation and a rating of 1,700. That's a little bit more restricted with the with the joining. Fillingham is getting really close.
He's gained 4 seconds this lap alone. He could yet do it. Up ahead. Oh no!
It wasn't good.
Barriers at the wrong time. We have to go up to the race leader though. Lenny Yongnail. Well, tell you what, Lenny. It's been a day. It's been an evening. He's. Oh my God! Has he run out of fuel? He is super slow. He's super slow. Has he run out of fuel? I think he's run out of fuel. Oh my, no way.
But he still made it.
He just about made it. Corentin Pointeau will take second. Gutai third. Oh, head in hands moment for Cy Fillingham. So close yet so far to a podium position. I think fourth will do him just fine. Martin Meyer here is going to pick up P5. Shaboshlai finally passed De Meyer. He was nowhere near Meyer in the end though. Was actually Shaboshlai actually still, you know what, he might lose P6 here. He's all over the place, and De Meyer is just going to throw himself up the inside, rightfully so. So it's actually going to be De Meyer De Meyer P6, Meyer P5, Shaboshlai. That looks like a shopping trolley to handle. Oh my word, what does he do? He's all over the place. Shaboshlai P7, Sukadio P8, good for him. Tevignon P9. Miowski, by value of just finishing, gets P10. Everyone else for retirement. What an experience that was.
Well, experience, I think this is the right word. The race room racing experience strikes in a very special form in this race. But yeah, let's not forget, I mean, we had a lot of fun here in this race. And I think Lenny Yongnail and Masa Gutai can be very happy about these races because it was an ultra difficult combination, an ultra difficult car. Not many drivers were up for the challenge. Those who were put a stunning show here, and I can't wait for the next race, for the GT3 race.
Yeah, so I guess overall the winner of the F3 Macau Grand Prix would be Yongnail, right? Because he got second in race 1 and the win in race number 2, with Gutai second with the win in race 1 and a third place in race number 3. Of course, shout out to Shaboshlai and Pointeau, who also picked up podiums for themselves. Wonderful, wonderful time. And the good times keep on rolling. As I say, take this moment now to get up, stretch your legs, grab your snacks and whatever. We are going to be taking a break here as the GT3s head into free practice. We'll be back near the tail end of that to bring you qualifying, the sprint, and the feature race for the Macau Grand Prix finale. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you after this. just noticed on the second time of watching that advert, very chic-looking house. Very like a warehouse-looking house. Very, it speaks to my inner aesthetic. Like, just, it's.
Is it really a house or is it a warehouse? I wasn't sure.
It could be both, but you know what else? It could be the RaceRoom Macau Grand Prix. We're back, folks. Welcome to this second half of the broadcast, where, as you can see, no longer do we have the open wheelers. We have the tin tops out in force. The GT3s are here with a brand spanking new array of liveries, array of manufacturers, and a new array of talent with some names that you might find familiar from the F3 just gone by. Myself, James Kirk, him, Robert Wiesenmüller, and Rob, if you could just enlighten us as to how the GT3 portion of this event is going to proceed.
Yeah, this portion is a little bit longer. And basically, we have the same qualifying format, 10-minute session, drivers alone on track. Then we have got a 20-minute race, top 10 reverse grid. I hear from the race direction this time it's actually going to happen. And then a 40-minute race, so a little bit longer race then. So it should be fun. Of course, a little bit harder to overtake. A little bit more cars on track as well. And a little bit more familiar names, for example, here Christopher Högfeldt, winner of the Porsche Club Sweden Time Attack competition, regular competitor in the ADAC and Remus Championship. And yeah, it should be really fun. 31 cars on the server. That's a lot.
It's popular, and certainly this GT3 addition to RaceRoom, certainly one of the more popular when it comes to the Pro Championships as well. As you can see up the top of the screen, you'll notice it says practice, and indeed this is practice. We still have 11 minutes to go until qualifying, so it's going to be a little bit more chill this section. Oh, a McLaren, gosh, that's a rarity out there. As you see, Lenny Young now back in town once again after effectively winning the F3 portion of Macau. He's going to try and put himself in the running to win the GT3 portion of Macau. But let's reminisce about the year for RaceRoom, Rob, because unfortunately we've not seen much in the way of touring cars. Of course, the EWTCC was one of the first real major moves for motorsport to go into sim racing. It eventually became the EWTCR. We saw it run last year. Hasn't run this year, sadly, but we've had plenty of championships to not just take its place, but also to fill out the RaceRoom calendar. The likes of, as you mentioned already, the Remus GT3 Championship, the RDSA GT3 GT Masters Esports Championship, I should say, the Cupra Sim Racing Cup. We've seen plenty of community events popping up. What for you has been the biggest success? Have you had a particular moment that you've enjoyed? Just share with me your thoughts and reminisce on 2021 for RaceRoom.
Yeah, I think this year hasn't been as much about esports as perhaps the past years, but more about, let's say community-driven modes like the ranked multiplayer, where you have much more races, you have less time attacks, and maybe you don't have so many broadcasts, but you just have races all around the clock for, for basically everyone who can drive a car, who can, get it home over the finish line. You can find some enjoyment there. Different categories, with rookie races, with pro races. And I think it's been a good story this year. Because we, if we're looking back, 5 years ago when we started with the WTCC Championship, we didn't have that kind of mode in the game.
Nope. No.
And you could go on the multiplayer. Yeah, you can drive the 134 Judd around the RaceRoom Raceway with a lot of people, and someone shows up in the FRX and he's 20 seconds faster than you. And that was it, that was the multiplayer experience. And I think this has drastically changed over, especially this year, where we've seen plenty of great... Marcel Gutai there.
Big hit. Big hit indeed. And yes, Finland is there's a lot of countries represented once again. But yeah, I agree. I remember back to 2017. I think it was March when we got started with the EWTCC. And there were drivers there that you thought, oh yes, these guys are excellent, top of their class, and certainly looking forward to 2021. There are still many of them competing, the likes of Dorniden, for example. I remember David Naj was in and amongst the top 10 of that. That was when he was considered not great as well. He's certainly come on leaps and bounds as a driver, likes of Kevin Siggy, of course, as well as that's the old C6 or C7 Corvette. Nice to see that out here as
Yeah,
well.
it's a
along with the-
C6. It's a,
Yeah,
I think
old one.
Z06R is that exact type of model. I'm very surprised to see this car, but you can take it. It's part of the GT3 class, and
Yeah.
not exactly expecting this car to perform miracles on the circuit,
Who
but it
knows?
is very, very fast in a straight line.
As Corvettes should be. But yeah, like we look to 2021 now, and there have been so many sim racing championships of the esports variety, this, you know, the pro scene stepping up, that I think that there has been a move away from what made sim racing in the first place, which was grassroots esports. And I know that, you know, over at various different other simulation companies and titles, you do have ranked leaderboards, and I'm so glad to see RaceRoom joining that roster now, where you can just start from scratch and build up your reputation and get noticed without the requirement for community organized events. You know, not to say that they are bad or anything. I love community organized events, and I mean, goodness, the amount that we've already talked about with Cy Fillingham with our leagues, you know, those are fantastic RaceRoom events to really take the next step up from ranked, to see how you compare against other racers who are dedicated to doing this perhaps a little bit more permanently as a fixture in their lives. But yeah, to see a ranked mode now in RaceRoom Racing Experience is fantastic, and I do hope that a lot of you guys out there are looking at it and thinking, yeah, you know, I want to try this for myself.
And you can just try it for yourself. It doesn't cost you anything except that you have to buy the cars and tracks.
Yep.
And they are quite cheap on RaceRoom. So yeah, just download RaceRoom for free on Steam and give it a try. Maybe not at Macau for your first race. So this is I would say, together with the Nordschleife, the hardest track that you could possibly find. But yeah, plenty of races. Oh, we've got another special car here. That's Joao Castanheira.
That's the old AMG Black Mercedes, right?
The SLS.
Yeah.
In the
What a
Haribo
great
livery.
livery, by the way.
Yeah. You can see the team name there, R3 Advanced Statistics. If you type that in the App Store, you will find an app that will show you a lot of extra data about ranked multiplayer. Very cool. Joao is the one who developed this. Well, that's something you should try out if you have an Apple device. I'm not sure if it's on Android already as well, but you can definitely try to find it.
I hear that kids and grown-ups love it, so the yummy world of statistics. And we also love to see some big names coming through. We do have certainly some names that you might recognize from other championships. The current lead, well, the current leader of the leaderboard you will notice certainly, Attila Dine, but also Christopher Hoogveld, who is most recently a race winner in the Remus GT3 Championship. Actually came under a bit of controversy in the GT3 Esports Championship because he ended up getting a little bit feisty, ended up near the back of the grid, and of course in the Remus GT3 Championship you have a full grid, reverse grid for the second race, and so he ended up near the front, absolutely ran away with it. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, but he is a fast driver. He's proven it not just there, of course, but in the ADAC GT Masters Esports Championship as well. We see Luciano Wittvoet as well in that championship. Vilgosh, we've seen in a couple of Pro Series championships as well. So some big names here. Some big names to watch out for, along with the likes of Longail Yongnail, Gutai as well, who we saw previously in the F3 portion of this broadcast, and a bunch of new names that we are going to get to know and love and enjoy, including, of course, Sven Mackenberg, brother to Marvin.
Yeah, twin brother, actually.
Yeah.
They are from the same town as Alex Dorneden, by the way. That was a big coincidence, because it's not a huge city, but they yeah, seems to be a good place to come from when you want to start sim racing.
Nice diverse field as well. Of course, we've got the likes of Kreivi from Finland. We've got, of course, the Dutch represented through Wittvoet. The Americans are back with Komorowski and Blacher. Switzerland involved with Sen.
And a very strong representation from Slovakia. Because we've got Nemček here. We've got Lekin in the old Corvette.
Kruška.
We've got Kruška, yes indeed. Was there a fourth one as well? I don't think so. Ben Spunky, unfortunately, not in the race today. From the same country.
Always. I think that, I mean, the Slovakia ring has done so much for racing in Slovakia, just in general. It's great to see it get an official release on RaceRoom Racing Experience, of course, has been a mainstay of the EWTCC and EWTCR throughout its Runners Championship. But the man in third's the one I'm most interested in right now, Rob.
Yannick Mund.
Yannick Mund. Tell me a bit about him, if you can.
Yeah, he's in the pit lane right now. He's part of the Eibach Sim Racing team, so that's one of the up-and-coming team. Eibach, of course, is a company that is involved in building springs, I think, for real racing cars. And good to see them here getting involved on RaceRoom, and Yannick certainly looking competitive here. Of course, against Dina and Högfeld, it's pretty tough, because these are two of the fastest drivers in the world. But sitting in P3 in the practice, in the Audi, which is not the easiest car to drive, it's kind of suited to the track, but yeah, it can get a little bit tricky, especially in the fast corners. Witwoud just beats him there.
That's
a good performance.
It's a very green car as well. You're not going to miss that one in traffic, are you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the most spectacular one, the traction livery.
Love it. I mean, I myself, again, full transparency, I'm a writer for Traction.gg, so I'm well acquainted with the bright pink that the company has chosen to go with. Of course, Traction.gg powering a lot of the RaceRoom Championships, actually. I mean, not the Remus one, but certainly the ADAC GT Masters Championship, and so I write the race reports after all of those, and it's great fun. Honestly, it's one of the best companies that I've ever worked for. I'll give them their due shout out now. Fantastic group of people. They got a YouTube channel. Go visit Traction.gg as the website as well. Lots of great people working there. Worth checking out, if not for the pretty colors.
Yeah, great to see them here involved, and a lot of pink on this grid, because Roland Zen also has a pink car.
BWT, yep.
And for LTC Gaming, we've seen this community plenty of times as well throughout these races and championships.
Netherlands base, I guess, with the NL.
Yeah, but he's coming from Switzerland.
Switzerland,
we also have Dutch drivers on the field here. Evert Jan van Schepen.
Has there ever been a more Dutch name in existence? Evert Jan van Schepen. That's and the
Dutch,
orange car. And the orange car. It's perfect.
Sitting in P18 at the moment. Sorry, my voice is dying after this Formula 3 race.
I mean, I
was getting
crazy.
too excited about it.
Excellent. Let's take a little look. Welcome to chat, by the way. Still over 100 of you watching. Welcome, welcome. Please get involved if you so fancy. We are not only from the same town, we were in the same class at school. No way, Marvin. That's fantastic. Mund's got the quali for the GT3 Esport Masters, but he's too young for it. Really? Wow. So this is like one of the, I mean, we talk about this in the esports scene all the time. Again, my sort of primary commentary now is with Rocket League. And in the Rocket League Championship Series, you've got to be 15 as a bare minimum to take part. The amount of absolutely insane 14, 13-year-old players out there is nuts. But they are allowed to take part in some competitions outside of the RLCS. So great to see Yannick here. I'm excited to see what he puts out on the track, because this does seem to be the case every year, Rob. We get this fresh, bushy-eyed, bunch of youngsters coming through who just seem to be, I mean, their potential is sky high.
Yeah, and Attila Dina, not too long ago, he was one of them
as
well.
He was one of those, yeah.
Yeah, driving for Emirates Esports, and Martin Petermann just pointed it out in the chat. Martin Petermann, the admin of the VR GT3 League, a very strong German GT3 League, in which I personally drive as well, a community-organized league, that Attila Dina will be fighting for the championship title on Sunday there. So he's got plenty of time that he can also do this race here. And his lap looking very clean so far.
Yeah, Doug Roberts says, guys, let us know what snacks you're enjoying, Doug. As you rightly say, Rob, let's concentrate. We are in qualifying. 10 minutes of qualifying, and if you're just joining us, it is general race room procedure. Once the timer hits 0, that's qualifying done. You do not get an opportunity to end your lap that you're currently on. You've got to go. You've got to time yourself to the timer, and that will not change as long as RaceRoom is up and running.
Speaking of snacks, James, was it with you when we commentated that race where Gergobaldi was eating marshmallows on the Nordschleife? Mid-race.
Oh, it might have been. It would have been EWTCR though.
Yeah, but we raced the Nordschleife there. I think it's very possible.
It's very possible.
One of the most remarkable moments. This guy leading the championship, fighting for the title, and just eating marshmallows.
Gergobaldi just exudes calmness. So one of the nicest guys as well. If you ever have the chance to meet Gergo in real life, worth saying hi. He is genuinely such a lovely dude. Had the pleasure of working with him when I had my own sim racing team at the time as well. Attila Dine wouldn't have minded him in my team either, though. I mean, look at this. He's setting up purple sectors. It is the opening laps of everyone's qualifying session, so purple sectors are to be expected. But Attila Dine was in the top 3 by the end of the practice session. We are expecting him to be one of the benchmark setters here around the Macau Gaia circuit. And the benchmark time is going to be a 2:17.348. That puts him 1.5 seconds near enough clear of the
but look at Hergfeld.
5/10 behind Christopher Hergfeld. What a lap from the Swede.
Stunning lap from Christopher. Surely the driver with the highest accolades going into this event. And certainly, he's, the favorite status is not coming from nowhere. And he proves it here once again. Great lap from him.
Whew.
Let's see if anyone can really get close to this.
That's lightning. You're going to have a couple more chances to put in a lap as the often not seen McLaren. Oh, which one is this? Is this
650S, I think?
650S, yeah. Down in P19, some 6.5 seconds off the back of the grid. I see Doug got some pretzels, crackers, and cheese. Well, sounds like a very tasty combination to me, but not as tasty as that lap from Hergfeld. That is going to be difficult to try and usurp.
And he's purple again.
He's going faster.
Yeah.
Given by hundredths of a second as opposed to tenths, but every little helps in that very striking, just carbon fiber Corvette. No sponsors, no prestige, no ego. Just a car getting the job done with a driver that knows it well. I believe he does drive the Corvette in the Remus GT3 Championship, so well acquainted with this particular machine.
And the thing is that this track is coming up in the Remus Championship as well. Not the next track, this is Bathurst in the next round, but Macau will be the final round. The format is slightly different, because they have a fixed setup there, and here we run with the open setup. But it is a good practice. And Högfeld is definitely using this event for practice. I don't think Dina is in the Remus Championship, but certainly Wittvoet is in the Porsche.
Yes.
So there's some drivers who are, just using this event also to prepare for the championship race later on. And to answer the question from the chat, did I do any practice for the next round? Well, I did a few laps, and if you want to beat me or any other drivers, you can start off the leaderboards on RaceRoom, as Högfeld then makes a mistake. And you can look at all these tracks that you can find just in the game. In German it's called Bestenlisten, and in English I think leaderboards. And just go to the tracks that you race in your community league, and you can find the times from other drivers there and challenge their goals, and maybe learn something, take a look at the lines and so on, and it's always a great practice.
Gotta say, I'm a little bit interested as to why Högfeld pulled out of that. I mean, he was 2/10 down on his fastest time, which might have been reason why. Is that's a really good lap from Villa Cravey there as he heads up into P3, still 1.2 seconds off the searing Högfeld, but putting himself in the shout with the top 5, and it is mostly a German dominated top 10. Second, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, all Germans. Got the fin of Cravey there in P3, Rui Filippi, who is in and amongst the top 10, P8, and we do have a purple sector from an American friend of ours, Adam Kamarowski. But it's only just a purple sector in Sector 1, and something tells me that he might lose a little bit more time through Sector 2 here.
Yeah, it's one of these specialities of this Bentley Continental, of the older version. It's very fast in a straight line, but it does have quite a bit of understeer. It's a very competitive car. It doesn't use a lot of fuel. You can short shift it to go even faster, so it's certainly not bad. From the older cars, it's for sure one of the best. But here on the infield section, I would expect Komorowski to lose a lot of time against Högfeld.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, every single Bentley GT3 that we've seen appear in RaceRoom, it just gives you those Giga Kubica vibes, where it does seem monstrous to fight alongside. It's so big in comparison to everything else, but it does suffer.
It's a shame we don't have a P45 competition in this race. Ooh, big mistake there from Komorowski. Because these cars together, they look very funny.
They do, yes.
And you can notice it's, well, I wanted to say it's so much easier to get around the hairpin, but then he clipped on the outside. Seems like it isn't. But I would say it's a bit easier than in the F3s.
He is slightly up on his overall time, though. I don't see him going any higher than the P16 that he's currently occupying, but he might be able to find a faster time. If he's quick about it, he'll be able to get another flying lap in as well. Just about. Let's see, he crosses the line. And he indeed is not even going to improve on his current time, as Yannick Mund heads up to P3, and Attila Dini does get closer to Christopher Högfeldt. But again, it's not close enough. Still 2.5 tenths away, but him and Högfeldt are miles clear of the rest of the field right now.
Yeah, and certainly the experience coming through there showing.
Ooh, and Young Nail in P9.
Oh, seems to have the form in the GT3s as well. He already went back to the pit, so I don't want to jump to him now. But Mackenberg is still out. He just comes across the line up to P4.
Very solid effort.
And then the Porsche there. We see a decent mix of manufacturers in the top 10. Of course, the Corvette on pole position from Högfeldt here. But then 2 Audis. And a Porsche. I think there's a BMW as well. Yes, indeed. Mosin in 8th in the BMW. Young and Neil in Mercedes in P9.
Delgosh has put in a decent time as well. The Polish driver up to P6. Crosses the line. Is he going to find an improvement? The answer is no, but Luciano Wittvoet is the Dutchman heading up to P8, and that's close between himself and Mosin, actually. 3,000ths between the two. As Rui Felipe now back up into the top 10, demotes Young Nail. That's going to be the Portuguese's last attempt. Another purple first sector for Komorowski. But how fast is he going to go through the second sector? He lost 3 seconds last time out.
Yeah, I'm still scanning the timing, but I don't see anyone on the purple sector. Just checking on Castanera, but we will wait for the second sector time from Komorowski here.
Ooh,
no, we don't. I don't think we have to wait for it.
Yeah, very.
Oh, Castanera is way back. Let's go to Dina, because Dina was purple in the second sector. Dina was purple in the second sector.
He is online for pole position here. The problem is the Corvette usually better in a straight line than the Audi here. Can Attila Dini pull a rabbit out the hat, though? Stays close to the pit wall.
He does!
Oh, and he's done it!
And Högfeldt beats him!
Oh, my word. It's private qualifying. I forgot. I didn't see a Corvette near him. What? What a last few seconds that was. Dine with a lap good enough for pole position, but Högfeldt denies him. 300ths separating the two on the front row of the grid. What a sprint race we have in store.
Yannick Mund, the youngster in P3, great qualifying from him ahead of Mackenberg, then Krivy and Wilgosch. Sebastian Reh in P7, one of the regulars on the ranked mode, ahead of Wittvoet, then Mosin, and I think it was Young and Neil.
Yeah, Young Nail, P11 for him. And so to the grid we go. So a reminder, it's different from the F3 format. So very much, if you saw the ADSA GT Masters Esports Championship, it's basically that. We have a 20-minute sprint race, first of all, coming up, followed by a reverse grid of the top 10 for a feature race. That's going to be 40 minutes in. So a real grand finale to this fiesta of wonderful racing action.
Cars are lining up here. Högfeldt in black, Dina in yellow and white. It's your front row.
As I say, it's very striking. Like, it's with no sponsors, with no paint job. That Corvette sure is a looker, and it might be worth taking a little glance at his brakes as well as he heads into the milk car. I've seen them glowing a couple of times. 20 minutes up on the clock then. Red lights on. The green lights will mean that we are underway here at the Macau Grand Prix GT3 section. There we go. 20 minutes is off and running. And off and running with a great launch is Christopher Hergveld, who leads into turn 1. Around the outside, here goes Mund.
I think Mackenberg almost jumped in there at the start.
Oh, no, it is Macken. So, yeah, no, it is Mund. Yeah, who's
but Mackenberg is dropping back.
Yeah, he is, and through Hotel Oriental into Lisboa, already sparks flying off the outside wall here.
Really clean.
Hergveld from Dinner is very clean indeed, and Dina looking to the outside already on the defensive is Christopher Hergveld. Dina breaks late, he's not going to get him into Lisboa, but it is Hergveld who leads from Dina, Mund, Vildscots, Mackenberg, Wittvoet and Kreivi down to P7 already.
How have they all managed to get through? That's unbelievable.
I mean, to be fair, our standards were low, Rob, given the F3 race, so I think we perhaps we should give them credit where credit is due. That was a very clean start.
And Attila Dina had a decent start, I would say, right on the back of Högfeld. And Vilgosz, I would say Vilgosz is the big winner of the start phase. Of course, the Porsche always has a good start if it's a standing start, but he still is ahead of Mackenberg and Wittvoet, who are in the same car.
Of course, in the GT3s, it goes from nigh on impossible to surely impossible to overtake someone in this midfield section. Young Nail's not made up positions. Ooh.
I think Young Nail just lost a place on the infield, so...
What I'm saying is, unless you're making a mistake. We did see a couple of opportunistic launches from F3 drivers because they are thin enough to do that. I think you do need a mistake. You need someone grinding the outside wall to give yourself an opportunity. And then into the Melco hairpin. You can see there the glowing brake discs of Christopher Hergveld there. You really do have to stamp on the pedal. And here is the procession.
Oh, no!
That's a big crash in the background. I don't know who it was involved, but you've got to stay out of the way now. You've got to let everyone through. It's... It's happened again. It's Van Scheppen there who starts the traffic jam. Thankfully, everyone... I was saying everyone's going to get through. Everyone will get through eventually, but this has already segregated the field big time.
It was always going to happen. And look at the front. Högfeld has managed to pull a gap on Dina. Dina's under a lot of pressure by Yannick Mund.
Yeah, Högfeld has really stretched his legs. And Yannick Mund, too young to take part in the ADSA GT Masters Esports Championship. Not young enough to take part here. We love to see these youngsters coming through, showing exactly how much skill they have behind the wheel already. And Mund looking to the outside, goes to the inside, goes to the outside. He's not going to get enough slipstream though, and the Audi ahead will stay ahead. Dina in second, but behind it's all chaos. The BMW is trying to push him round, and pushed round by Sebastian Rea there was Mosin. And that's a really awkward position as another traffic jam occurs. Sebastian Rea, well, he's laughing off into the distance. I'm not sure the stewards will take such a keen eye to that. As poor Van Scheppen just can't take a break. First he gets stuck at the hairpin, and then he finds a BMW in his way.
Macau always delivers, and we can just see it once again here. And there's a close battle on the infield. Wittvoet against Mackenberg. Wittvoet, one of the most aggressive drivers for sure. I think he's one of the guys who's daring enough to make a pass on the infield. Kirill Antonov on the Cupra Sim Racing Series managed to pass 2 cars in the infield. So who knows if it's possible here as well.
I remember that race because I think that was one of the ones which I took over for Lewis, wasn't it? Or was it this year?
It was this year, but I think he might have done it last year as well. He definitely won last year.
Yes. Very apt at this track is Kirill Antonov. Knows his way around. Some people still learning their way, it seems, though. A couple of mistakes here and there, but on the whole, much cleaner, to be fair, so far than the F3 shenanigans.
Don't say it, James. Don't say it.
Wittvoet is just behind Mackenberg.
We lost our first driver.
No
That's Van Scheppen.
surprise. No surprise. What a terrible lap for him.
Look how far back they already are because of the traffic jam. They lost half a minute.
Such is the way of Macau.
Oh no. We heard the crashing sound there, I think.
Oh, is that? Oh, it's
Mattes.
green car. It's Mattes, yeah. And actually, he rejoins quite nicely. As everyone concertinaing, but finding their way through. That is a broken nose on the Porsche. Gonna need surgery, that one.
Little bit of a dent. Bürgfeld's car, on the other hand, is looking still pretty clean here, and he's got a nice lead already of over 2 seconds ahead of Attila Diener.
Yeah, he's not going to like that lead in race 2, let me tell you that much, as he's comfortable. I think he's very much driving within himself right now. There's a good gap to keep, as Vitvo's still unable to get past Mackenberg. Back here, the battle for P10, I should say. Heinrich, Nemchek and Debbie. Or Dubai, maybe, I guess, rather than Debbie.
I think the B, but I'm not
B.
sure. That's, of course, one of the disadvantages here of the ranked multiplayer races. You never know ahead who's going to show up, so you can't prepare the names. Luciano Wittvoet. Actually, not sure if that's correct either, but that's how we always called him.
Oh, no, it's definitely Wittvoet. Definitely.
Oh, he's close. He's close to Mackenberg.
The problem is he's facing another Porsche, and it seems like he's not got the straight line speed, at least in the slipstream, to be able to make much inroads on Mackenberg. And it's not like Mackenberg's picking up a slipstream from Wielgosz ahead either. Wielgosz some second clear right now, so he might be picking up a slight bit of slipstream, but it's going to be super minimal.
Bit of a bump.
To the Melco. There's the traction-mobile of Cravey, who does seem to be closing in on these guys as well.
He had a bad start, I think. But it's to be expected in the Corvette. I think Högfeld really found something nice there, maybe with the clutch at the start.
Still in a decent position. Again, we have to keep the feature race in mind. That's going to be 40 minutes in length. And so, to be fair, even if you had a bad start, if you're in and around that top 10 position, you're in a very favourable place for our final race of the evening. Let's see whether Wittvoet can try and... Oh, well, that's something that we don't like to see. Another traffic jam back here at the Melco hairpin.
And what's with these pink cars? You know, always trying to find a sneaky way of getting past the traffic jam there. First then, now Barrera.
Looks like Mackenberg's going to stay ahead of Wittvoet, by the way. That was the closest battle. He does pull out Wittvoet, but again, in pure slipstream, Rob, not able to find any sort of purchase. Lenny Young Nail is, though. That's a lovely little move up into the... I just completely blanked again. Up into the Lisboa 90-degree right-hander there. And to be fair, to be expected, the Mercedes pretty decent in a straight line as well. And Young Nail making some good moves. Again, from a starting position of P11, doing very solidly.
Yeah, and the Mercedes, as we just have to jump here to Ray and Van Roon, going at it on the infield. Mercedes is an interesting car because it is very fast in the straight line, but very often the straights aren't long enough for the car that he can really use the advantage. But we've seen it at Road America in the Remus Championship. Well, the newer model, I think Young Nail is on the older one. But we've seen it there that on the track with very, very long straights, the car is excellent. But, you know, on a normal track, like, you know, like your Hockenheim or so, the straight just isn't long enough that you get into the region that you can really use it to your advantage. And then a car like the Porsche, like the Corvette, is actually better suited.
Mackenberg is driving so smartly here. He's just planting that Porsche in the middle of the road when Wittvoet's clearly got more wing on that car. If that wasn't evident enough through the straights, he's literally pushing for the second lap in a row now. Mackenberg through. You can't overtake there, buddy. You can't overtake. It's no good having a little love tap. There's no chance that you're going to be able to make a move through there. And I think Wittvoet is basically, he's driving a good race, but he's handcuffed at the moment because he simply doesn't have the straight line speed to do much with Mackenberg.
No, he's spun him around.
And that might be looked at by the stewards because that was a direct result of Wittvoet unsettling the car.
And what a shame, Mackenberg out of the reverse grid now as well. And I mean, that was just a...
Oh, and here comes Cravey. Around the outside of turn 1, I think Wittvoet's, you know what, karma is often found at the right times, and I imagine that Wittvoet might be getting a big load of karma served up his way in soft scoop form by the end of this straight. Villa Cravey, to be fair, that's a good bit of cornering through the Mandarin And yeah, actually, to be fair, Vivvolt is going to stay ahead here. Cravey not comfortable enough on the brakes to make that one stick. But just feels bad for Mackenberg. He did not deserve that.
No,
and damage to boot as well.
Yeah, and you could see it in the beginning that Vivvolt was just too late on the brakes there. He just tapped him, and then he just couldn't save it. Really. Happens very often, especially if you run a low traction control. That just one tap in the beginning of the corner is enough, and there's just nothing you can do. Oh, Philippe has crashed.
Oh dear, and he was running in a good place as well. That is awkward. He's basically a very wide traffic cone right now, so good on him. This is wonderful sportsmanship from Philippe to just stay rooted until he can find a gap in the traffic to try and find his way back on. There he is. That's, you know what? Fair play, Rui. You did a wonderful thing there.
Oof, but
even
he
though
picked
you
up a
didn't
lot
do
of
wonderful
damage
thing.
there.
There is a lot of damage, and his chance of a top 10 reverse grid is now well and truly over. He retires from the race.
What a shame. And all of a sudden, Sebastian Reh, who's been in a bit of trouble with Mosen, I think, early on,
Yep.
has a shot again. P11 just needs one more car to drop back, to drop out. And then he's there.
Dubai currently now in the top 10 with Nemchek up to 9th. So positions gained, and it's still pretty close as well with Heinrich there in 8th. Very wide turn in there is Ray, Van Roon, and Sven Mackenberg still with a shot at the top 10 if fortune favours the bold.
8 minutes still on the clock. It is definitely possible, but need some chaos to happen, and at the moment the cars further at the front are not that close. It's pretty close here, around William Barrera. That's Amrat Rea. Right in front.
Oh my goodness! They go side by side. It's a yellow flag, but who's ahead?
Oh, I mean, and well, you know,
Oh
I
no,
think-
the Corvette got stuck. It got stuck on the inside.
I think in this situation, you let it happen. Whoever had the inside lines ahead, because that's priority into the corner. He just about makes it. They just about deal with it. So kind of just got to let it happen, I think, in this case. Oh, it looks so dinky, the C6 in comparison to everything else. Not so dinky is Hergfeldt's lead. It's been doubled since the last time we checked in with him. 4.3 seconds. He looks nailed on for the win here.
That's on board with him here.
How close is he going to the walls?
It's really impressive. Using all of the track. And you can
Driving
hear...
beautifully.
Yeah, you can hear that he's very careful actually applying the throttle. He must be also on a very low traction control setting, because even though he's careful on the throttle, it's still... He can still really angle his car with the throttle.
That's love. This is how you take Melco corner, folks. Just don't angle towards the corner. Angle away from the corner. Turn in sharp. And you've got plenty of room on the inside. Beautiful driving from Christopher Hergveld. Pleasure to go on board with him there.
Crazier battles though, a little bit further back, and I think something happened to Frank van Roon.
Yeah.
As he blocks the road, there's Castañera, who made up a lot of places.
And that's one more place for Mackenberg. Crucially, only 5 seconds away from the top 10. Things didn't go so well for his brother, but his brother did have a decent starting position for race 2. Oh, the same could be said for Mackenberg, as Ivan Hruska here going side by side with the C6 of Lekin. It's a Slovakia on Slovakia battle, and the Corvette of the later generation wins out.
Quite a spectacular race, and that's a big hit from Richard Blatcher there into the wall. The American.
Oh my god! That's Wille Crivey!
What? We just caught the tail end of that. I want to see the start of it.
Oh, we won't get it, unfortunately. I can't get it on the replay if we didn't see it live.
They must have gone. Who was that with? Was that with Young Nail or?
Yeah, I think Young Nail was behind him, but...
Wow.
Wow.
Crybe is out. That was a huge incident. And that's such a shame for the Finnish driver who was so comfortable. He was fine. Whatever happened between him and Yong Nail, I can only imagine they went side by side and one of them must have crunched against the barrier hard. For the Mackenberg fans out there, though, look at this. He's now only 1 place away from a top 10. 4 seconds still to find in 4 minutes 40. It's a long shot, but he could make it.
Oh, and I look at the Corvette there from Richard Blatcher. It looks like it took the suspension right of the Formula 3 cars that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
That thing is not going straight at all. Most action around this Corvette here of Vladislav Lek, and then look at the top speed that he has.
Oh my goodness. No aero. Who needs aerodynamics when you have straight line speed? He's into P22 again, but for how long? I think Mattes will probably regain that position pretty quickly through the infield section. Christopher Högveld then heading on to the penultimate lap of this race. One more is that he's just driving beautifully. Calm, cool. I mean, to be fair, Dina is as well, just not at the same pace.
Yeah, and great job by Yannick Munt as well. Sitting comfortably in P3. Ahead of Darius Virgosh, who's got plenty of sim racing experience. He was, you know, driving back in the day in the series like Touring Pro Series.
Yeah,
10 years ago.
And then, of course, you've got Wittvogt, who's, I imagine, going to be under the microscope for race 2, Rob.
Yeah, lots of controversy there in the incident with Sven Mackenberg. But Mackenberg is just 1 place away from the reverse grid. So who knows what can happen there, especially because Ray and the B are very close to each other, and the B already hit the wall there on the exit.
Both part of the Absolute Motorsport Racing Team outfit.
Oh, and the B is again in the wall. Now Ray is in the wall on the inside.
Mackenberg's gap hasn't gone down too much, though. It's remained at about 3-4 seconds.
Yeah, I think he needs someone to have a big incident there, because his car is damaged as well, remember?
He does need an incident. How much is certain?
But I mean, how likely is it that we see an incident in Macau, James?
Very likely, to be fair. We seem to have one every other lap at this rate. I mean, the GT3s, I mean, this has been a much cleaner race overall. In fact, I'd say that the biggest incident, so to speak, have actually been between 2 drivers in battle with each other rather than a car versus the wall. Or a driver versus themselves.
Unfortunately, we couldn't see what led to the Crivey accident, but I guess this one can count as the biggest one.
Yeah, by a margin, yeah. And Raphael Heinrich here. Still holding on to P7. Shout out to Nemchek, by the way, in that BMW. I know the BMW isn't much fancied in the current balance of power with the GT3s, but doing a really nice and solid job here. Again, staying out of trouble.
Yeah, the BMW is the car that I picked for my German league, the VR GT3, where I compete, because it's very stable and easy to drive. You don't need a lot of practice, you can run a bit higher traction control. But ultimately, unless it's a track like Spa or so, it's probably not quite as fast as a car like the Corvette or the Porsche.
It's a bit of a compromise vehicle, isn't it? It's good in all aspects, but it's not great in any aspect. As looks like Rea is going to hold on to P10 here from Dubai.
I think he passed him there. I think...
Oh, was it a repass? My apologies, yeah.
I think it must have been. So now this is interesting. How much risk is Rokas going to take behind him?
You've got a front row lockout for Absolute Motorsport Racing Team. You don't want to give that up. Ray on the outside. Dubai on the inside. He's going to go for it. Dubai is going to force the issue. They're going to go side by side, and they do avoid the barriers. Still on the inside is Dubai. But, oh, St. Francisco Hill, and he's round. He's round. That's the chance that Mackenberg was waiting for. He's into P10. And sorry, they're not part of the same team. They're just running the same livery. So never mind me, but Dubai, well, kiss your chances of a front row goodbye.
Oh, and can he even get back? No! Castanera just about gets a stop there. And that's Zabdir. We didn't see Zabdir at all. Sneaking through as well. The Bay picks it back up in P14. Good to see Zabdir out here as well. He's also one of the regulars in the Cupra Sim Racing series.
Oh, sometimes you just need a bit of luck to go your way, and Sven Mackenberg can count himself one of the luckier drivers. Yes, he got hit out the way, but also, yes, he persevered, he persisted. And as long as he makes it to the finish line without another spin, his perseverance has paid off. Up to the front, though, Christopher Hergveld. He's just come around the final couple of corners, and it has been super comfortable. It has been super dominating. It has been super ominous for the rest of the field. He's going to have a harder job on his hands in race number 2, where he's going to start from P10 on the grid. But Christopher Hergveld wins the sprint race at the RaceRoom Macau Grand Prix GT3. And Attila Dine is going to come home a clear but definitely distant second. Yannick Mund, one of the youngest drivers on the grid, picks up a podium, with the Polish driver Wilgosz coming home in P4. Luciano Wittvogt, naughty boy perhaps, P5 after hitting round Sven Mackenberg. Jongnel P6. What a drive from Jongnel, by the way, from P11 to P6. What a great effort.
Yeah, coming from the F3 race as well. Completely different car just before.
Yeah.
Heinrich in 7th. We didn't talk much about him, but solid race ahead of Nemček. And Sebastian Reh in P9 and rounding out the top 10. And the pole sitter for the next race, if we can trust the race control this time, Sven Mackenberg.
Very, very happy for Mackenberg. That's a great effort. I think Castanera as well. I think he was starting outside the top 20, Castanera.
Yeah.
And he managed to pick up 12th. I mean, that's another great drive.
Ooh, Frank van Roon almost sending it against Komorowski. Not quite close enough.
Not going to get it.
Here's the BWT battle. That's two different Audis, isn't it? That's the older Audi in front.
Yeah.
Photo finish.
Of course they'd end up on the same part of track as each other. And I think Sen has just about got it, yeah, but by thousands. Oh dear, that's a sorry sight, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw this car going not straight early on. Richard Blatch and last one running, but at least he's still running, because I think we started in the quali with 30 drivers and 24 are still running. That's a better ratio than at the F3 race.
Yeah.
For sure, and we saw how clean it was in the first lap, but then of course a little bit later the action started that we expected here at Macau. Didn't stop this man here. Christopher Högfeldt winning the sprint race.
Another virtual drivers by TX3. Looking good. And we do have some faster guys at the back as well for race number 2. The likes of Craivi and Felipe. What are they going to be able to do from down there? What's Christopher Högfeldt going to be able to do from P10? I mean, that is... I'm in danger territory if ever there's been any suggestion of such.
Yeah, 40 minutes is a long time, but we've seen how much more difficult it is to pass in the GT3 cars here. Information of the results. Fastest lap, of course, also goes to Christopher Högfeldt. In a second, Mund in 3rd position. You can see all the results. As the McLaren P17, Maceman, nice position for this car. We really don't see it very often. And the SLS with Castanera in P12, as you mentioned. Car with a very unique sound as well. You should definitely try it out. It's not even that slow.
Now remember, folks, that we do have just gone live as of an hour and 30 ago, a Steam sale on with all of the different RaceRoom Racing Experience DLC packs. So go and dip into Steam, take a little look, but after this final race of the evening, it's the longest one of the lot. It's the 40-minute feature race for the GT3s here. 10-place reverse grid. So Högfeldt starting in 10th, and of course Sven Mackenberg starting on pole position. A great opportunity for the Mackenberg name to find some glory around Macau.
Still trying to get back into the server. This seems to be a reoccurring thing between these races. But I have a good feeling that we will be here back in time, and it should just take about like 1 minute perhaps, and then we will see the final race of the evening.
Oh gosh. And what an evening it's been. What an evening it's been. Of course, if you have missed any of this, the replay is, of course, going live, I'd imagine almost immediately after we're finished up here. So you're welcome to watch it in your own time.
I think on YouTube you can even do the playback.
You can do playback, yes. I know some championships turn that off. Not here. You can turn it back immediately and watch now, but I'm sure you want to watch the action live as we all do. The love of live sports is in on. Yes, they are very beautiful trees. Macau, a very beautiful place. I've never been there myself, but nice to see so much greenery in and amongst the city setting.
Yeah, we've been to Malaysia with RaceRoom in the esports
We have.
WTCR final in 2019. That was a nice experience.
Loved
Bit of a
Kuala
crazy
Lumpur.
event.
Yeah. It's worth saying, what I loved most about Kuala Lumpur wasn't even necessarily the city itself, but the people. The people are just so lovely. I mean, you are very much... It's strange, like, as someone who comes from the West, as a, with no offense, of course, like, as a white guy, you're actually very much in the minority over there, but they are so welcoming, so understanding. They fully embrace you as one of their own. So shout out to the people of Malaysia and shout out to the people of Macau.
And I think we don't have all of the cars loaded yet.
No,
As the game...
I'm presuming all of them are here.
I hope so. Let's just watch the start from the cockpit perspective of Sven Mackenberg then, as the other cars are still trying to load in.
Well, Herkveld's P9, so I'm presuming we've lost someone. But apart from that, it seems correct. Either way, we're off and away. It's Attila. Yeah, it is Attila Dine. Second place, man. Not
what
taking part. That is such a shame. Tabbed out of the game and it crashed.
Yeah,
Never
it seems like the game has some problems here for us as well, as we just see David Nemček appearing out of nowhere in the run-up to the first corner. Yeah, and Dina's out. Confirmation here on our standings. 24 drivers still in the race. Castañeda all the way at the back. And that's a shame. But Mackenberg kept the lead.
Yeah, and it was one free place for Herkveld. He's already up to P8. And he is going to be the danger man here. How is he going to be able to, can he side his way through the top 10? He's got some fast competitors ahead of him. As Vidvolt, that's on the limit, but you know what? That's also okay in my books. He manages to make his way through up to P4, through on Heinrich.
Yeah, Heinrich wasn't expecting that on the infield, but fair enough. There was a gap, he went for it. They both stayed on the track. It went up to P4.
In general, I wouldn't tab out of any sort of online game, to be fair. You're always playing with fire because you never know what your PC's going to do. You never know what the internet's going to do. You never know what the game's going to do. It just seems like a risk in my books, unfortunately. So a shame to see Attila Dine out. But chance for everyone else here as Mackenberg still leads into the Melco hairpin for the first time. Oh my goodness me, that was a wide line from the BMW of Nemček, currently occupying the final podium position. The run down to Fisherman's now. And through Black Sands again.
One of the BWTs.
This thing, they can't help themselves into that hairpin. Onto the back straight. And Luciano Vidvolt here really putting Nemček under pressure. Is he going to dive into R? Yes, he is. He's going to throw it up the inside. A lot of racing room given by Nemček. Very respectable. And at the end of lap 1, it's going to be Mackenberg who leads from Ray. And around the outside, Vidvolt's going to go at the first turn. That's very close. The BMW of Nemček stays ahead. Vidvolt 4th, Heinrich 5th. And here is Heinrich on the redemption charge here, trying to get around the outside of Vidvolt. The door is closed. Watch out for Young Nail there as well in the Mercedes. He's already through on Heinrich. Is he going to get 2 for the price of 1? The Porsche Vidvolt breaks very late, as does Young Nail, who knows when to concede. At least he's got 1 position. He's not going to be greedy.
Very interesting to see the different strengths and weaknesses of the cars there. BMW, higher straight line speed. Porsche so good on the brakes. And Langley, Young Nail, once again with a pretty smart race here. Oh, and one of the...
Oh dear. That was, I mean, you were channeling your inner Charles Leclerc there. Oh my God. And rightly so. It's always the BWT Audis, it seems, and unfortunately for Lecken,
Yeah, it's race over.
The poor little C6 that could, unfortunately could not. But look at Sebastian Ray here. Where was this pace in race 1? But in Mackenberg under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, maybe he picked up some damage when he had the incident with Mosin.
Oh, that's Winfoot!
Well, I did say that Karma was going to catch up with him eventually, and he has rage quit immediately. You don't love to see that when so many others have continued on their way. I'm sure it's going to be a breath of fresh air for everyone else around him, however. It's another free position for Christopher Hoogveld, who's now up to P6 from P10.
And is the victory possible for Hoogveld here? His biggest rival in terms of pace, Dina, is out of the race. He's already up to P6. Mackenberg's pace at the moment, it looks solid, but it doesn't look stunning. They've got a bit of a gap, but not as much as you could have at Macau, I would say. Let's see the lap times when they cross the line.
So it's a 2:20 for Mackenberg.
2:19 already for Hoogveld, and he's in traffic.
Yikes. That's ominous. That is very ominous indeed. Rea might actually go for the lead here. I don't blame him. If Sven Mackenberg's not going to keep a decent pace, then Rea might take over. It might be a Corvette on the charge, both looking behind us here and further back for P5, although Hoogveld is going up against another Corvette in the form of Heinrich, and into the Lisboa corner here. He's not going to be able to do anything. Decent defense from Heinrich, and not going to catch him out through the San Francisco turn in either. Further up, though, Longnail is... I keep on calling him Longnail. It's Longnail. Get that correct. It's Lenny. Big Lenny is trying to get past Nemchek. But Nemchek, again, this is true Giga Kubica. The widest BMW in the world. It's a lot easier than Le Mans around Macau Gaia Circuit, though. Or, rather, no, other way around. It's a lot easier around Macau Gaia Circuit than it is around Le Mans, that's for sure.
And this battle between Jongenel and Nemchek, this is the biggest chance for Ray and Mackenberg that they get to win this race. Because when they are fighting, they're surely going slower than they could be, and it's costing time to Hoogveld.
And let's also catch wind of where our other competitors are from the top 10. So it looks like Felipe didn't even make the race. But Krevi already up to P16, so a really good effort from the Finnish driver to already make up a bunch of places from retirement, seeing him involved in one of the biggest crashes of the evening, if not the biggest.
Hoogveld has gone past Heinrich in the infield.
That was on the infield section, yeah. You can see the podium at the very least, although Nemchek's pace really is holding up everyone behind him now, because there's a 4-second gap to Rea at this point. Maybe it's helped by Rea, perhaps. Oh, another. I know it wasn't the BWT Audi at this point, but we did see him. But to be fair, I think Rea is perhaps not battling Mackenberg as hard.
You know, maybe it's like, you know, these black cats and Friday the 13th and so on. Like, it's not the responsibility of the black cat, but whenever you see it, there's trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think both of the BWTs are still running. Barrera is in P14. And Yannick Mund...
Well, he's not made much headway, has he? In fact, he's fallen back. He's going to try... Well, he's not going to go around the outside of Mandarin, let's put it that way, but he might be able to catch out Van Roon here, who's hit the wall. Oh, but here comes the
just
BMW massive, and further up the order, Lenny Hongnell trying to go for third. He knows he has to go for third at this point. The BMW here is... I think that's Dubai, isn't it? But he's not going to get past... No, sorry, it's Van Roon.
Mosin. I think it's Mosin in the BMW and Van Roon in the Audi.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Don't listen to a crazy commentator. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
It's easier for me because I can see the timing on my other
screen.
Can. So
yes.
Yeah, but that was aggressive from Van Roon actually. How he defended against Yannick Mund, and Yannick Mund is a bit faster. He was third in the first race, of course. Van Roon still held the position there, and now is ahead of Mosin, looking quite solid in P9.
You know what? fair enough, Richard. Fair enough. You deserve that trip to the pits. Because goodness knows that must have been an absolute nightmare to try and drag that car around this circuit. Still dragging himself up towards the leader, though, is Sebastian Rey. They're still 4 seconds away from Nemchek, and I tell you what, Nemchek is doing a heck of a job for them right now because they're allowed to battle whilst Nemchek holds up the rest of the field, but Christopher Högveld is now right on the back.
And there's one thing we've seen, unfortunately, throughout the GT Masters Championship and also throughout the Remus Championship, that Högveld has an excellent pace and an excellent consistency, but in a battle, he sometimes shows some, makes some mistakes. He threw it away in the Remus Championship, then collected pinsage on the rejoin. And now he's in a position where he really has to win it on track. There's no way he can win it on pace. None of the drivers are going to go into the pit lane unless they damage their car. Perhaps he can wait for a mistake, but with the pace that he has, he surely should make a move.
I think he's also waiting on what Young Nail is going to do here. Or maybe not. I mean, look at the overspeed that he's got. He's basically bump drafting the Mercedes here. Has to get off the gas. I think that's at the wrong time, though. I think he's really misjudged how to take this section, because if you stay off the gas for just a little bit and then hammer it through Mandarin, you're in a prime overtaking opposition. As it stands, he's timed it poorly, and he's got to stay behind for another lap with 30 minutes left.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You can get kind of like a slingshot,
Yep.
When you just time it right, and there he was too close too early. As Pereira passing the McLaren. But I think
Oh God, sorry.
I think we've got the closest battle here for P3.
And now it's just a case of settling in, enjoying how close the cars are battling, and seeing who makes the first mistake.
Bit of a mistake from Young Nail, but I don't think it will cost him anything.
It's a lot.
Kind of wall taps are okay on RaceRoom in the GT3 cars. He won't pick up any damage.
It's a long car, that Mercedes, as well. Like, the door's going to be dented. It's not going to make that much of a difference. As long as he doesn't do it too often. So close to the wall there on turn into to maternity.
That Mercedes, of course, infamous on this track, with Dani Juncadella being involved in a massive accident a couple of years ago in the real Macau Grand Prix. Dani Juncadella, one of the RaceRoom VIP drivers. Oh, what did Högveld do?
Oh, I guess he must have just got it wrong.
Did he clip on the inside? Did he shift into neutral? It looked really strange.
Very bizarre, yeah. But either way, it's let Young Nail off the hook here, and double whammy. It's put him under pressure from Vilgosh, who himself has gotten past Heinrich. Oh no, Heinrich has never passed Vilgosh, has he? But either way, Vilgosh now has a sniff. That said, you can already see the pace advantage for Högveld. I don't think he's going to be under pressure for too much longer, but it does allow Lenny Hongnell now this one opportunity.
He's doing it right. He's doing it right.
Yep.
He's staying out of the slipstream. Now he will go back into the slipstream, so he's got the perfect run at the end of the straight. The only problem for him is the straight line speed of this BMW from Nemchek. It's way stronger than I would have expected it to be.
I think for Young Nail, it was the other way around. He was too conservative when he needed to be in the slipstream for just a little bit longer than what actually happened, where he was basically out of the slipstream right for the entirety of that run into Mandarin. Heinrich looks a little bit more pacey than Vilgosh as well, might be a little bit frustrated that Högveld's been allowed to get away, and Högveld's now found traffic. It looks like he's navigated his way through Blatcher pretty safely.
Yeah, but I think Blatcher doing a good job there, letting everyone through. It's difficult at Macau, of course, because there's not a lot of space where you can do it, but I think this is as good as it's going to get from Blatcher there. Fair play to him. At the front, nothing has changed. Mackenberg still leading ahead of Rey, but Rey is still right there.
They're not working together, are they?
Not really. But I think as long as Högveld is in P3, they don't have to worry. But there's still 26 minutes to go.
Yeah. Could be a bit of tyre saving going on as well. Of course, no pit stops here today, or at least mandatory pit stops.
Yeah, and the fuel capacity from all the cars is enough to get to the end without a pit stop.
Here's Castaneda in the Haribo Mercedes, of course. Bit of a sandwich here with Zabdir and Meisman. Good little scrap here. Castaneda definitely one of the heroes of race 1, just keeping it clean and gaining effectively 10-15 positions throughout the entire 20 minutes. But here we go.
Let's see what Lenny does this time.
Another
But now
opportunity.
Högfeld is kind of back, so
Yeah.
maybe he has to defend as well. And the Corvette also has a very good straight line speed. These are actually 3 cars that all have a decent straight line speed. Yeah, Högfeld on the inside.
Oh, he's going for it through Mandarin. He's got to concede, unfortunately. There's Youngnell. He's not going to risk it there. That was very opportunistic and very well judged by Christopher Högfeldt. He knew that there was a straight line speed advantage there, and he has made the Italian pay, but he's gone really deep, Youngnell. Oh, he's crushed into the wall. That was very opportunistic, perhaps naive, perhaps unwise. Högfeldt up to 4th, and Youngnell is lucky to get away with minimal damage.
Yeah, he really sent it there, and Högfeld closed the door a bit late, but at the same time, was it really a possible move there for Youngnell? I'm not sure. Kudos for trying, and they're all still going.
Krivy up to 14th now behind Kamarowski here. I think there's a real possibility for Krivy to pick up a top 10 here, honestly, like the way he's been driving.
Yeah, it's
Although
definitely
that said,
possible.
Past Barrera, though, there is a huge gap of 11 seconds, however. Disappointing to see Munz down in 11th, though. He's really struggled from the back of the grid. Well, not from the back of the grid, sorry, but from the lower part of the top 10.
Yeah, he started ahead of Högfeld, of course, but he just can't seem to make up any places. And maybe that's this experience that comes with age. Or just with the amount of races that you've done. Because pace is one thing. I mean, you need to have the talent, of course, and maybe the setup, the driving skill to find the pace, but you can practice it a little bit easier than how to survive in a battle, especially on such a tight track.
This seems like a certainty. Well, it's another pink machine finding the rear end of the machine in front of it, but this time it's Youngnell on Högfeldt, and that might have actually just...
Might have helped Högfeldt.
It might have helped Högfeldt, honestly. It's definitely helped him in the sense that Youngnell's not going to be there to pose a threat from behind. I think Högfeldt's got this podium, honestly, in the back. Look at the overspeed already. Is he going to be brave enough to go into R? Is it wise to go into R? He's going to commit. And 3rd is his, but now it's all about the potential rebuttal from not just Nemchek, but Youngnell as well. There he is, the Mercedes coming out from the background. Not able to get past Nemchek. Nemchek sticking to the slipstream of Christopher Högfeldt, who goes defensive. There is Youngnell on the outside. He's getting impatient here. He gets back into the slipstream. Good timing here from Lenny Youngnell, but clatters the outside wall. Look at this slipstream speed from the BMW. Högfeldt's got to go ultra defensive. Nemchek to the outside, and despite all the swinging and swaying from all the cars, they enter and exit Lisboa in the same order they finished it.
Good clean racing there. And Högfeldt now in the P3 that he needed, and now Mackenberg and Reh will regret that they haven't worked together a bit better. Because I'm pretty sure we will see Högfeldt closing this gap lap after lap.
Yeah, now it's a question of if Reh has been holding off for just, the first half of the race. He's got to make the move now, because I don't see Högfeldt falling behind Nemchek again. Not unless there's a mistake, but he was faultless in race number 1. There is no reason to think that a mistake is going to come through the Swedish driver's way. Bucks flying again as Heinrich clips the inside wall, and sadness as Castañeda's in the pits.
He's still fixing the damage, he's not retired. But of course he will lose plenty of places here.
So Mackenberg has led from the start. If you're just joining us, welcome to the halfway point of the feature race. Mackenberg on pole position after falling way below the top 10 and recovering positions. Some through great overtakes, some through the fault of others ahead. Reh has been hounding him for the entirety of the race, and Nemchek was holding on to 3rd until last lap when Högfeldt was able to overtake him And he's still holding up young Nail, who's been behind him for the majority of this race. Wilgosz now looking interested. Heinrich still watching brief. Really, the winner seems to be between the top three right now. Högfeldt, Ray, and Mackenberg. Maybe young Nail can get himself back involved. But he needs to make this move, and he needs to make it quick, Rob. Otherwise, he's going to be losing time hand over fist.
It must be so annoying to have young Nail behind you, because he always slightly taps your car in the braking zone. He's very aggressive. It's not like he's going to take you out, but he's just, you know, he's just one of these drivers who's really going for every opportunity. Emchik knows he has the faster car on a straight line, so it should be possible for him to defend, and it's excellent around this corner. That's where the BMW is great. But on the infield, he's always going to lose time against young Nail.
Oh, so frustrating. So frustrating for young Nail as behind. Wilgosz covering off an eager Heinrich, who seems to clip the inside there a Lisboa. And further behind, we saw this battle, Van Roon, Mosin and Mund. Mund very much in a similar situation, Rob, where he just can't get past the BMW, and the BMW can't seem to find enough pace to get past the Audi.
Maybe this BMW here can make a pass. Zaptia on the inside of Komorowski. Can he get it stopped? Clean. Yes, indeed. Clean pass there. Have to go to the leaders. They're very close. Oh, now they got a bit further away, so maybe there was an attempt.
5.5 seconds the gap between Ray, Mackenberg, and third chasing Holgate. Colgate's the toothpaste. Högfeldt is the driver. I'm surprised that gap hasn't come down quicker, honestly.
Yeah, me too, but now it's 4.7. At least on my timing here, it should update pretty soon.
It is, yeah. They've lost a significant amount of time through the midfield
And Mund has passed Van Roon. And Van Roon is going back on the inside.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. I'm guessing that Mosin found his way through Van Roon, and Mund must have followed suit.
Finally, Yannick Mund back in the top 10. Going very wide there. That's the F3 line, I would say. Didn't quite work out for him, but now in the top 10, that's a decent position.
But look at Högfeldt. The gap's gone back out to 6 seconds. Did he clip the inside of the Melco again, or?
Maybe it's just the timing. But, yeah, it doesn't seem like he's really gaining the time. Did he set a new personal best lap? No, he didn't. Not sure what's going on there with Högfeldt.
I mean, you're absolutely right. It did come down to about 4.7 seconds or so. There's, well, using the back marker doesn't want to be there. I wouldn't want to be the back marker either in this situation. Frustrated is going to be the Italian. That's so annoying. Seeing how good that BMW is hooked up through Mandarin. Oh, painful. Oh my word, that's a rocket of a launch from Wilgosz. I mean, there's hopeful and then there's blind. And I think that Wilgosz was very much leaning towards the second of the words there. Very, I mean, that was just asking for trouble.
The thing is that you can brake so much later in the Porsche, so it probably didn't even seem like a ridiculously late braking point for him. But that's just what the car is capable of. And unfortunately, Young Nail didn't see it the same way. Just closed the door there because he was surprised that Wilgosz was coming from way back.
Oh! He's going for it! He's going down the inside and he can't make it stick. Sebastian Reyes getting inventive, but not creative enough to be able to find his way through on Sven Mackenberg. And look at the time, it's just evaporating between himself and Högfeldt. Now 3.6 seconds the gap.
Another mistake there from Mackenberg, clipped the wall a little bit. And I'm surprised that Mackenberg with another mistake. I'm surprised that Rey is going for it on the infield. I would have expected that with the Corvette, there's a possibility at the end of the straight, but it doesn't seem like it.
2.7 seconds the gap. Ray knows that he's got to step up his assault here. And Mackenberg knows that if he keeps Ray behind, then he might be able to escape the slipstream clutches himself. Perhaps that is the one thing that we can talk about here when it comes to Mackenberg and his overall race pace. He's never really been out of sight of Sebastian Ray. There's always been a little bit of slipstream to pick up. Maybe in its clean air form, the Porsche can finally stretch away. Sebastian Rey doesn't want any of that, though. 16.5 minutes left. The win is still very much up for grabs.
And he is catching up for sure. Can Mackenberg even take this corner flat? Well, Rey is not taking it flat. He's lifting massively. Nemchek was taking it easy flat in the BMW. And because of that, Rey just isn't close enough to really make a move here.
He is dealing with dirty air, of course, which Hoogveld in his own right will have to deal with it. He did spend a couple of laps, of course, behind Nemchek and Jongneel, who, speaking of, is still behind Nemchek. How to ruin your mood while racing. Guide 101 there is Rey's getting so... He's trying every which way, but all Mackenberg has to do is stick that Porsche in the middle of the road. He's not going to get overtaken. Little twitch from there as well as Hoogveld. Now that gap looks smaller than 2 seconds, I'm going to be honest.
Big slide there from Hoogveld, actually. He's really pushing. But I think we have to stay on Rey. He's once again trying.
I think it's the right strategy to try and overtake on the midfield section. It might need an elbows out moment though, Rob. And it's always nip and tuck with those because you're one little slide away from actually just turning the car ahead of you around, and then you're the one facing a penalty.
Yeah. But he also doesn't have a lot of time. Hoogveld has been over 1 second faster than any other car on the previous lap. So maybe, I think this time he still has the straight to make a move, but then Hoogveld will be right on his back and he also has to defend.
Yep.
And Mackenberg is always so good at the exit of the hairpin, of course, because the Porsche has all the traction. It has the engine on the rear, has much better grip there out of the corner. And Rey always has to find the time back here that he lost in the hairpin exit, and he can't really be. He doesn't really seem to be able to do that.
It sets up for a thrilling final 14 minutes. But just look at the gap between Rey and Mackenberg. Mackenberg has to go flat out through Mandarin, otherwise he's not catching up. He's not launching an attack into Lisboa here. Does as well as he can do.
He's not close enough.
And he's not jaunting out to the side either to make a move. Going to be interesting, isn't it? I think it all comes down to not whether Rey can overtake Mackenberg, but rather can... Oh, hello, is this finally the move? Jongneel, he's finally made his way through on Nemchek. Is it going to be 2 for the price of 1? No, he covers off Will Gosh. But Jongneel now finds himself 10 seconds off the podium. I think this is his limit for today.
But it was a great move. Clean overtake there from Jongneel. It's Will Gosh! He's sending it. But he doesn't get through. Back to the leaders. Here's the corner where Rey was always trying it on the inside. Mackenberg is half covering it. It's enough. And Hoogveld is right there.
Yeah, I think the winner of this race isn't going to be Sebastian Reyes. I think this comes down to how much can Sebastian Reyes defend off Christopher Hoogveld. Because if Hoogveld gets through on Reyes, you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to be through on Mackenberg in a flash as well. Just heading towards the Melco once again. 12.5 minutes left.
Yeah,
that equals up at about 5 laps or so.
I wonder if Hoogveld will go for a move on Rey pretty soon, because Rey always loses, like he almost loses the slipstream from Mackenberg out of this corner. And perhaps Hoogveld can try a move pretty soon.
Well, that's just it. It's how well can Rey defend. I don't see him winning this race from here on out. He had his chance. He had 25 minutes. Is that Heinrich? Oh, Heinrich has been running in the top 7 so comfortably. He's now out of the top 10. He's got to do an 8-point turn. He's covering up the road. Here comes the the other Corvette, who rightfully saw a gap there and wasn't given it. Now he's going to go through.
Luckily, that's the Corvette that's already a lap down, the one that has been in the pits.
Oh, here we go. Pulls out the slipstream, does Christopher Hoogveld. You know, I don't think he's got enough on Rea on this lap. And actually, Sven Mackenberg is also going to be a help to Rea, because Rea is going to be picking up the slipstream from the car ahead, of course. But Högfeldt finding himself in a bit of a slipstream train here. And he's got to find out over the next lap or two where is best to attack and to save his strength.
And I wonder how much risk he's going to take.
Oh, Nemchek. Down to 6th. Bilgosh. Ooh.
Where's Wheelgosh?
There he is.
There must have been a collision between these two.
Yeah.
Well, Nemchek is ahead again.
How's your nerves, Sven? How's your nerves? Oh my goodness, they're so much faster. Rea again. It's always at Teddy Yip that is it Teddy Yip? I believe it is. No, it's Payol that they're going through. It's always at Payol. He tries to go outside, inside. He doesn't find a way through. Oh, Christopher Högfeldt there clipping the barriers. Could that be a little bit of damage? Could that eke out a little bit of performance here? Any advantage for Rea or Mackenberg, they're going to be taking it. How are we feeling, chat? Gail Gortner feels this isn't going to end well. Based on what we've seen at Macau so far, yeah, maybe. We can hope for the best, though.
But the thing is, when they come out of the hairpin, the gaps are pretty much exactly the same as they were on the previous lap. So no one really, because the Porsche is so good on the exit, no one can really make a move.
Yeah.
So perhaps Mackenberg has a chance.
Final corner again. And as you rightly say, similar positions for all.
Yeah, half a second between all of the cars.
I reckon it's 4 laps left. 4 laps left for one of these drivers to win. He's further back there, but he's picking up good slipstream here.
Slipstream is much better this time. How fast can he go here?
Yeah, can he commit? He has to
Mackenberg
lift
full
off.
speed. Oi, oi, oi.
Rea closes. We're getting towards the braking zone now. Is he going to dive for it? Rea, no, he's not committed enough. He's going to try and he's going to go, can I slip through here? But it's not enough. And Christopher Högfeldt's just there. A little tap on the rear just to remind him, hey, listen, I am still here. If you want me to give this lead battle a go, I'll give it a go. And he's going to go up San Francisco Hill. He's giving him space, Sebastian Rea. On the inside, he's going to sweep around the outside. Christopher Högfeldt. Rea trying to keep it in there. Oh, that's brilliant defending from Sebastian Rea. Well done. That was an excellent effort from Högfeldt. But sadly for him, no second place yet.
That was unbelievable that Rea managed to come back there. I was absolutely sure that Högfeldt had the second position safe, but Rea just absolutely fights back there, sends it, gets the position again. Oh my god, can he... If you can pull a move like this, you can't count him out for the victory.
And look, Mackenberg had a chance to run away there, but immediately the Corvettes find so much speed through the Payol section that they're right back with him again. I do reckon we've got this lap and then 3 more, possibly. That's very rough timings, and of course it is determinant on, well, how much or how fast are these guys going, because the more they battle, the slower their lap times are going to be. There on replay, you can see just how close Christopher Högfeldt was to netting second. He was briefly in second. A wonderful sweep around the outside here, but great commitment from Sebastian Rea to give it right back to him. Little bit of elbows out, of course, but very fair. As we head into Fisherman's, a little tap of the wall.
Yeah, and the gaps are almost the same. Rea is a bit further back, so maybe Högfeldt has a chance this time, but I don't quite see it yet.
I see Absolute Motorsport cheering on their man Rea. I see Marvin, of course, cheering on his brother. I'm sure Högfeldt has his fans in chat as well. Heading towards Mandarin once again. What's Rea's slipstreaming going to be like here? Looks good. It looks real good. Just from the outside looking in. How committed is he? Oh, he's pretty committed, it must be said. This is looking like the best opportunity perhaps for Sebastian Rea. Some would say he's just got to send it. Mackenberg throws a dummy to the middle and will defend. Around the outside, no! It's hit the wall, Rea! And Högfeldt has to double check himself not to hit anyone ahead. Wow, that was close.
That was crazy how Högfeld managed to keep his car. But Ray has seen the move from Högfeld. Can he pull off the same thing? He was looking. He was thinking about it.
Yeah. And where's Young Nail in all of this? He was 10 seconds off the lead. He's now 8 seconds off the lead. I'm not going to go as far as suggesting that he's going to be a fixture for the podium, but if somebody makes a mistake in this top 3, he's in a prime position to pick up the spoils.
Yeah, and we've seen in the F3 race what can happen. How many times did we think Ponto has the victory safe?
Yeah.
Or Ray gets the inside.
Mackenberg has driven immaculately. He's not had the pace necessarily, but he has had the consistency.
Yeah, and remember, he was in a good position in the first race until he got spun by Wittwood.
Very true. Started this race on pole position. It did somewhat favour him ultimately, but will it grant him the win that he desires? Lovely to see everyone enjoying themselves in chat, as it looks like Vilgosh has lost a position here, not just to Dubai, not just to Mosin, yeah. And Mund is also ready to pounce there in P9. As you can't turn your eyes away from this battle for long. Similar gaps once again as we head towards Black Sands and Fisherman's.
Let's see what Ray is doing here. Much more understeer on the car than Mackenberg has. Well, Mackenberg also probably has understeer on the car, but he's kind of sliding it into the corner and trying to force the oversteer so he can get around the corner. And Ray, it looks more... I mean, it's obviously a front-engine car, so it looks completely different, but he didn't have a good exit here. Högfeld had a much better exit.
Oh, this... I mean, this... I think Högfeld knows that time is running out here. I think if he's going to go for the lead, I think he's got to do it here.
But Högfeld made a mistake. He didn't stay in the slipstream, and because Ray had a slipstream himself, he didn't gain any time. Let's see if Ray is going for it under braking. No, he's not.
We have seen some attempts at double overtakes. Is Högfeld perhaps gambling on the fact that Ray might do a last lap lunge here? Wait until the very last moment to show his hand. He's certainly showing his hand here. Tries to force his way up the inside again. And there's Högfeld. He sees the gap. He goes for it. But the track is going to betray him once again as Rea remains in second. They are poking. They are prodding Rob. But there are no puncture wounds yet.
That was close. Oh, Mackenberg clipped the inside wall, losing a lot of speed. This is the corner where Ray is always trying. It goes left, right, left, right. Oh, taps him a little bit. Good save from Mackenberg. Högfeld in the background there.
I think we've seen Macau at its worst. We have also seen and are seeing Macau at its best. Such respect from all 3 of these guys. Top quality. Whoever wins, it's going to be so well deserved. Good bit of a pull out here from Sven Mackenberg, though, once again. The Corvette's... Oh! Rare clips the inside there, but Högfeld... It's too tight, it's too narrow, he can't pass, it's into the Melko hairpin. But look at that, immediately catching up to Mackenberg once again.
Högfeld has got a little bit closer to Ray on the exit this time than on the other laps. And I think Högfeld, he has to stay in the slipstream of Ray now, because Ray has the slipstream himself. It helps nothing to get out of it there. He wants to be close, he has to follow Ray as closely as he can.
Where's Young Nail in all of this?
7 seconds back.
Still 7.5. Yeah, he's not going to be a feature here.
Oh, mistake from Ray.
That's a big mistake from Ray. It's penultimate lap time unless we get shenanigans. He has to pull in again, Högfeld. Is he going to try and go to the outside of Mandarin? I'm not sure you could do that. They are side by side. They're door to door. Ray has the inside, but his line's going to be compromised. Swinging around the outside, it's Christopher Högfeld. What a move from the Swede. He's got 1.5 laps now to make the lead here. Sven Mackenberg, how is your Steely defense looking now?
That was a class overtake there on the outside, and such a respect between Ray and Högfeld there. That could have ended in tears, but it didn't. Congrats to both drivers there. And Mackenberg, he won't like that. I'm surprised that he didn't give Ray a slipstream, because Högfeld is obviously faster.
Uh-oh, and he doesn't have Ray as a rear gunner anymore. Sven Mackenberg knows the speed in that Corvette. This is going to, like, the last lap, funnily enough, isn't going to be the most important for Sven Mackenberg. It's this one. How big can you keep that gap? If it remains at about 7 to 8 tenths of a second, I think Mackenberg's got a good chance of defending here. If it's anything less, then Högfeldt is going to hoover up that slipstream.
Yeah, but the finish straight is so close. I think Högfeldt's best chance is before. It's before they happen.
He just looks so much more comfortable, doesn't he, through this midfield section, Högfeldt?
He's not close enough. He's not going to be close enough before they happen to make a move, and then there's the Porsche exit.
Rea, you can see he's still a part of the painting here, Rea, but he's very much in the background now, perhaps just hoping that Mackenberg defends a little too hard if, let's be honest, when this Högfeldt attack comes.
What a great exit from Mackenberg. Oh, he clipped the wall. Clipped the wall on the outside. But still.
He's done well. He's done really well through the Melco.
Just
that might be enough.
What does the time? But what does the timer say? 30 seconds.
They're going to make another lap. Don't worry about that. They are going to make another lap here. 6.5 tenths.
But even with the lap.
That's touch and go. That's touch and go. Final lap on this evening that is just delivered on every single front. Humor, excitement, excellence.
And
it's
why
all been here.
is Högfeldt not in the slipstream?
That's a very good question, to be fair. Why wasn't he in the slipstream? He closes, but he's not going to be close enough, not unless he's willing to die for it. Maybe he sees there's a chance in the midfield section, but I think that might be race one for Sven Mackenberg here.
Well, let's see. Ray was trying it on the infield. Högfeldt might do the same thing.
One thing's for sure, unless he drops it now, Christopher Högfeldt has won the GT3 section, a win in the sprint race, at least second in the feature race. He's shown exactly why he came here. He's dominated for a lot of this, shown his class in the feature race in particular with some excellent overtakes. A bit of fortune, of course, going his way, but you know, you get that from time to time in sim racing. Rea has very much fallen further away now, some 5 tenths back.
from Högfeldt here. And he has to... This was the corner where Rea always clipped the wall. He has to try it before they happen. You've seen the happen exit from the Porsche. He has to try it before. And there's only 2 more corners where he could try it. Not close enough this time. He won't be close enough next time. And then he needs a mistake from Mackenberg and they happen.
Oh, he's driven this race beautifully, Sven Mackenberg, and at every clutch moment he has clutched up. He has really made these last 2 laps count. Melco hairpin. How does he take it?
Very
Wider
slowly.
entry from Högfeldt. He does take it conservatively, but he's got another excellent exit. That Porsche has been set up beautifully. And now it's all about that sprint to the finish. Through Black Sands, through Fisherman's. Mackenberg just needs to nail these final couple of corners. It's a little bit slidey. There's the back marker getting out the way. Great to see. Sven Mackenberg just needs to nail this final corner now. He's so close to the win. He's been knocked off the track. He's been spun around by Wittvogt, but he's going to claim the just rewards, the just desserts here. Sven Mackenberg wins the feature race in the Macau Grand Prix GT3 section. What a win, leading from start to finish. Christopher Högfeldt from 10th on the grid finishes second. What an effort. And Sebastian Rea as well playing his part to get third. Young Nail picks up fourth with Nemchek fifth. Vilgosh Mund, Mosin, Dubai and Van Roon round out your top 10. And so unlucky for Krevi from the back of the grid to 11th. What an excellent show of demonstration there from the Finnish driver. But Mackenberg, what a race, what a defense.
Stunning victory. Congratulations to Sven Mackenberg. And what a way to bounce back after disaster struck in the first race. Nice victory and using the strengths of his car. The Porsche didn't look like the fastest car here, but it looked like a car that could win, and Mackenberg played it to perfection. And big respect to Högfeldt and Rea for that battle, for that side-by-side.
That was tremendous. That, I mean, that again, those final laps, that lead battle is exactly what makes Macau the spectacle that it is in the best way possible. Brilliant work from everyone. And I just want to say as well, great job to the majority of the GT3 field here. So clean, so excellent. I know we've got a bit of a crabbing McLaren here, but most of the battles were excellent.
Yeah, we had a few traffic jams in the first race. We had our BWT. But apart from that, I think it was an excellent race. And you saw especially how they survived the first lap, the first corner there. How much respect was given in the race. And this is what the ranked mode is all about. And I'm very glad that we saw this race here. Fastest lap to Högfeld, not a surprise there.
Surprise?
Yeah, full second faster than anyone else.
Oh, what an evening, folks. What an evening. Fantastic races all around. And a fantastic audience as well. You've been wonderful. It's been lovely keeping up with chat. It's been great to see you get excited, to get involved. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much to Robert Wiesenmüller, of course, doing so much behind the scenes at RaceRoom. Just an absolute tower of organization, of excellence. It's been a pleasure working with you these past few years, Rob, of course, parting ways with the company. It's been wonderful working with you all these years. Hopefully we'll get to do it again in the future. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for everything that you've brought to this wonderful company, this wonderful simulator. I've been James Kirk, folks. Thank you very much for joining. It's been a wonderful evening. Go and enjoy the rest of it. And from all of us here, it is a very warm goodbye.